one. Side shoots. Save. Goes foul. Rebound. Taken away by Anaheim. Blues get it back and score. Robert Thomas.
Sundqvist gliding to it. Comes away with the puck. Snaps it away. Tucker. Shoots. Score! Kyrou's going to bring it in. Using Holloway as the shield. It goes to Shen. Shot. They score! Fowler put it on goal. Kyrou finds the rebound. Who's puck recovered. And it's Kyrou pulling it out for the Blues into Holloway. Shoot. Score! Blues put it to the front of the net. Thomas shoots. He scores! Saad leaves it. Buchnevich drives the middle. Score! Bring out the Zamboni. Strong and solid 6-2 win tonight on home ice for the St. Louis Blues.
Quack, quack, Mr. Goalie Boy.
Let's get nasty on a Friday. It's the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. What a game last night for your St. Louis Blues. They get it done 6-2 over quack, 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 Mr. Ducksworth. 6-2. 6-2 winners over the Ducks. Andrew Marsh, Jamie Rivers, Anthony Stalter, Carey Davis enjoying Puerto Rico for a couple more days. We'll be back on Monday. Maybe. Who knows?
I don't think he's coming back, guys.
You said that the other day.
Looking outside right now, as much as I love St. Louis, the snow, as opposed to Puerto Rico.
Right.
I don't know if Carey's coming back.
It's like, do you want to build a snowman or do you want another?
Do you want a pina colada?
Right,
like,
exactly.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, I get it.
I want two of them. One for each hand.
I mean, it is a Friday.
I mean, I got two hands.
I got two hands. Might as well use them, Jamie.
Yep.
Yeah. So the Blues last night, they get it done. Here's Jim Montgomery on if he said anything after the Minnesota game the other day. So here's Braden Shen, on whether or not his head coach said anything after the Minnesota game.
I would say just, we're playing good hockey, but you have to capitalize, when you're up in games, and you can't let points slip, especially this time of the year when you're trying to chase teams. And our division is obviously really good, and we're trying to catch teams. So, we feel like we're playing really good hockey. 5-5, we've been, really good, not getting up a whole lot. And usually when you're doing that, that results in wins. And, here's a chance for us to, be at home and, grab points.
So, Jamie, you had said it, and so did Curbs yesterday, that Jim Montgomery had a little more energy in talking to the media ahead of the Anaheim game. He's talking about ready to rock. He was almost throwing it out there to the St. Louis faithful. Hey, I know you've been cooped up because of the weather. Why don't you come down to Enterprise Center ready to rock? Like, he had emphasized that.
Yep.
Last night, the Blues hang 4 on the board in the first period. I know it's the Ducks. But what was different?
Hey, the Ducks have beaten a lot of good teams this year.
Certainly.
They beat Colorado. They've beat Dallas.
They beat Iceland? They're not. That was a documentary.
They beat the Hawks?
Nope, it was bad. That's, not different Ducks team.
Eden Hall, Anthony?
That's.
What did you say the one time? Seton Hall.
Seton Hall. No, did you say Seton Hall?
Yeah.
They probably beat them too.
No, he said Seton Hall. And we all paused and we're like,
doesn't sound right, but he said it confidently. So, Jamie? What was different about last night's start? Because I feel like every time we do your keys to victory, it's always like, hey, how about you start fast this time? Well, last night they actually started fast and netted 4 goals right out of the gate.
Yeah. So, look, the Blues are playing very good hockey. Even in the losses that they had to Columbus and Minnesota, when they were on their game, they were very difficult to play against. Last night, it just looked like a team that was like, okay, we pissed away 2 points in Minnesota, and we're never going to do that again. And they came out and played that way. Mm-hmm. Right from the puck drop, they got first shift of the game, they got the puck out, got it in, went to work in the offensive zone, got a shot on net right away. It was like, okay, that's the way you want to start.
Yeah.
And they never looked back. Did the Ducks help their cause at all? No. But I'll say this. Every time the Ducks, for the most part during that game, every time they turned around, there was a Blues player right there. Mm-hmm. Checking. Stick on puck, body on body, stick on puck, body on body. Like, it's monotonous for the other teams. Like, holy crap. Like, I could see the frustration in a lot of their faces from playing that game last night because I'm right there. I'm able to see, and they're like, they're bitching at each other and stuff. I'm like, okay. And this was like 5 minutes into the game. I'm like, okay, this is going to be pretty good. And the Blues just hammered the gas. And once they got up by 3 or 4, like, you could tell, okay, We did this the other night where we gave back goals to the opponent. We're not going to do that tonight. And they kept going.
I thought there was a lot of puck support last night, and you were talking about the frustration from Anaheim. I believe it was a 6-1 game, and there was kind of like a lull in the second period, but that frustration, I thought you could definitely see it. Alex Killorn gets absolutely bodied in his own zone by Nathan Walker, and then gets the puck back, skates up the far side of the ice, and then Tyler Tucker does a great job at angling him to the corner, takes him out of the play, and you just saw him just bang his stick against the boards and then go off for a line change. Like, they had basically zero room to operate, and I thought the Blues did a great job, like you said, back-checking, being there, and it just seemed like a complete game from the Blues from a team perspective. And honestly, it looked like they were on a power play the entire game.
Yeah.
It did. They were moving the puck. They were cycling the puck. It was really fun to watch.
I love the Jordan Kyrou play where he created, you had said it on the broadcast, it's like, Jordan Kyrou got the puck, then never gave it back.
Yeah.
He had fed it to, I think it was the Holloway goal.
What a pass.
Where
My God.
What a move, though, too. A little spin-a-roo.
He basically pulled the puck in closer to himself, buys himself so a little bit more space, skates a little bit more up, and then feeds it to Holloway, who buries it. They looked... Anytime the Blues play like that, they look like they're playing fast. They're playing fast with the puck.
Yeah.
But like you said, too, from a defensive standpoint, it's like they were gnats. They were smelling the cologne on the Ducks all night long.
Wow.
They could
What do
tell
you think a duck wears for cologne?
Probably oil. Don't they have oil on their feathers?
I don't think that would be good. I've seen oil spills in the water.
So that they can...
No,
Anthony, you got to use like Dawn dish soap to get those things out.
I just mean what? Their bodies create a certain oil for their feathers. That's why their feathers are so shiny.
Yeah, but have you seen when they have those oil spills and the ducks?
It's tragic.
It's terrible. They don't want oil on their feathers.
I think there's something. There's something on those feathers.
We talk about
nice little spritz with something would be fine.
Sure.
The details, the details matter, especially in investigation.
Yeah.
Anthony,
Yeah.
season 3 coming out soon. Trailer just dropped the other day. I don't know if you saw
Jamie's
it.
on it too, right?
What's that?
You watch
Reacher? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the third season came out. He's going undercover, by the way.
Are you
It's out?
serious?
Oh, yeah.
It's out?
The trailer is.
How does that guy go undercover, just out of
Right.
curiosity?
I don't know. We'll find
He's
out.
the size of a vending machine. How do you go undercover?
When we talk about the details mattering, right? And, you mentioned the Jordan Kyrou pass to Dylan Holloway. That's a no-look pass, but that's him knowing exactly where Dylan Holloway is going to be. And he fed it tape to tape right to his stick, which is something that we have seen in the past where, maybe that pass is a little in his skates, and that kind of changes the shot angle, or even if he gets a shot off. I just thought the Blues were super crisp last night.
One thing I want to bring to everyone's attention is just how good Jordan Kyrou is playing. Can we take a minute, please? All you Kyrou haters out there, you take the time to text us that you can't stand him, you want him traded, that he sucks. Can you take 10 seconds and text the Air Comfort Service text line, 314-399-9646, and just be honest. Since Jim Montgomery has taken over, has Jordan Kyrou had a bad game?
I can't think of one. I'm sure he's had bad moments.
Has he had a bad game?
Has he had a bad game? Not off the top of my head.
He's leading this team in scoring. Every single time he's on the ice, he's a threat offensively. That line is awesome together right now. Shen centering Holloway and Kyrou. And Jordan Kyrou is getting back on the defensive side. He's breaking up plays. And he's playing really good offensively. You don't see the turnovers like you have before.
Nope.
You don't see the hope passes backhand through the middle of the ice. You're not seeing that. He's skating. He's doing everything that we've heard any previous coach want. He's doing it now.
Right. And credit Jim Montgomery for unlocking that. Jordan Kyrou deserves the utmost credit because he's the one that's actually doing it. But just like how many teachers told you, hey, do this, do that, and you're like, nah. And then you had a different teacher tell you essentially the same thing. You're like, yeah, I'll do it for you.
It's weird how we do that as human beings. Yeah.
So Jim Montgomery, like you said, I can't imagine that Craig Berube or Bannister was telling him to do it completely differently, but Montgomery is able to unlock something with Kyrou. Are you getting anything?
What?
Are you getting anything?
Marcy, how are we doing on the text line? People, are they sending in their apologies?
Yeah, I mean, we've had a few different people text in. The 970 says, no, he hasn't had a bad game. Number 25 rocks. He has confidence. The 314 said, this is interesting, since Chief got fired, to be honest.
Oh, well, I mean, he did play well under Bannister, but
Not like this.
At the start of the season, we still saw the trade Kyrou. He sucks all over the text line.
This one's funny. From the 314, he hasn't been a segment on 101 every 20 minutes. So, yeah, I'd say he's playing better.
Yeah.
Did we do a lot of segments on him?
I don't know if we particularly did. I know that other shows spent segments on him.
Yeah.
But, you know.
I feel like we've been pretty fair.
I think so.
25.
I mean, I from the start of it, I knew what he was. What do we got, Marshy?
From the 314, okay, Kyrou is playing great. Honestly, that hurts.
Good for you.
You
That
know
shows
what?
a lot. That shows a lot of maturity right
Yes,
there.
I appreciate that. And I know for some of you, it might be hard to say that. And you may not want to, but if you look in the mirror, you know he's playing good hockey right now.
This is very honest. From the 816, I talk crap. Didn't use the word crap. I talk crap on Kyrou, but I don't watch the games either. Sorry.
It's fair as well. All right, 212, your time check is brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. Go ahead.
On the water boy, right on cue. Is Kyrou turning into a St. Louis star?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I think that one's safe.
Yeah.
He was a star to begin with, just for the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
Everybody knew who Jordan Kyrou was, but because
Right.
he was a lightning rod.
At least he had the NHL All-Star moment there.
Yeah.
People got excited.
He's playing good now.
Although it kind of raised expectations, which only led to more criticisms. But, hey, nonetheless, I think he is a St. Louis star.
He's a fast skater, too, Anthony.
Yeah, damn right he is. Absolutely. I think it was Splashback Deuce that said that ducks have oil glands. You know, we're talking about the ducks and oil glands. And then he said, I have oil glands. Greg, can you milk me?
Yeah. Where do you think your oil glands is, Anthony? Show me.
Okay. But in a break.
Yeah, of
Notre
course.
Dame punched its ticket to the Natty last night, 27-24. A kid from St. Louis had a massive moment, the biggest moment in the game. Not that St. Louis kid. We'll get into Notre Dame's victory over Penn State and whether or not James Franklin flat out blew it. That's next on 101 ESPN.
All right, St. Louis, are you thinking about selling your home or even purchasing a home, but you don't necessarily know where the market is headed? It's a tough time of year for that. You know, snow on the ground. It doesn't seem like there's a lot of people looking for houses right now, which is why you need to use a great realtor. And the best in the business is Gloria Liu with your home sold guaranteed realty. Like I said, it's tough time of year. Not only is it tough to sell your home, but you don't know exactly what the price range should be for your home. Well, Gloria Liu does. She knows exactly what she's doing, and she's sold houses and bought houses for over 20 years now, and she understands what is going to get your home sold, and how quickly she can get that done is based on you giving her a call. She also has a database with thousands of buyers that are ready to buy your home right now. That drives a lot of traffic to your listing, which is why Gloria Liu is confident she can sell your home quickly and for the price that you want for your home. So please pick up the phone, call Gloria Liu, tell her Jamie Rivers sent you. Her number's 314-325-6888. Again, that number's 314-325-6888. Or you can always visit GloriaHasTheBuyers.com.
as he throws, and it is intercepted!
Graduate student from Salisbury, North Carolina, to give Notre Dame the lead in the final seconds. 41-yard attempt. Snap and hold are good. The kick is good!
The sounds last night, ESPN. Notre Dame knocking off Penn State 27-24. It wound up being an outstanding game. It really kind of had it all. It had a defensive struggle in the first half. You had a bunch of, the offense got going in the second half. I mean, immediately Notre Dame went right down the field after halftime. Coming out of the locker rooms, first possession after halftime, they go right down the field. They get to the running game, and they wind up tying the score. And then from there, it was back and forth, and you had a bunch of big plays. None bigger though, and I know Jeter, the kicker, winds up kicking the game winner. But the biggest play of the game wound up being made by a St. Louis kid. And it wasn't Jeremiah Love, and Jeremiah Love not 100% last night, although he managed to hurdle another defender last night, even with the brace on. But Christian Gray from DeSmet intercepts Drew Aller and sets up the game-winning field goal. Gray has had an excellent year. He's a sophomore, so a lot of times they'll, with all the other outstanding players in Notre Dame secondary, a lot of times he gets picked on, but he's had a really good year, and Notre Dame coaches love him, and he winds up making perhaps, at least right now, the biggest play of the year. But all everybody is talking about is the decision by James Franklin and Penn State to try to move the ball down the fields when the score was tied 24-all. They had all of their timeouts when they got the ball back following a Notre Dame punt. They had all their timeouts left, and there was about 38 seconds remaining. They ran the ball once. They picked up 13 yards, got to the 28, and that's when Drew Aller put the ball in the air, and Gray wound up with the big interception. Do you guys think it's fair to criticize James Franklin and Penn State in that spot for being aggressive?
No. All this guy has surrounding his name, the narrative, is that he can't win the big game. So what do you want to just run the clock out, run the ball, and hope for overtime, which you might lose anyways? I don't get. So
here's the criticism.
Anthony, you're going to have to help me through this, okay?
Yeah.
Because when I play games, I play to win. I don't play to tie and hope for the best.
Yeah.
So in order to play for the win, you kind of have to do some things that would be considered winning football. You can't control the fact that you're being aggressive. The play was called. He threw an interception. Live and die by the sword.
So here's the counter to that. Penn State had not completed a pass to a wide receiver all game.
Oh, they were due. No?
Apparently not. Apparently not. So they hadn't completed a pass to wide receiver all game. They're a tight end and backs team. That's who they've been. You could make the argument that if you run the ball once or twice more, yes, the clock gets dwindled, but you do have the timeouts. If you can get it to midfield, now all bets are off. Now you can throw, because if you throw a pick at that point, at least it's going to be on the other side of the field. But putting the pedal down in that spot against Notre Dame's secondary, a secondary that had not been beaten with your wide receivers, and a quarterback in Aller who had been begging all game to throw a pick that mattered, because he threw two that were wiped out because of Notre Dame penalties, including an underthrow in triple coverage. It was just terrible. He got bailed out.
Yeah, it was a bad decision.
It was terrible. So you can make the argument that, hey, if you're James Franklin, yeah, I've got all timeouts. I've got 38 seconds remaining. Why don't we push this a little bit, see if we can't win the game right now and avoid overtime? Hindsight being what it is, obviously a bad decision, but knowing how that game was playing out, I think it was a mistake.
Maybe, but if he completes the pass and gets the team into field goal range and they win,
nobody's talking about him. Yeah.
Everybody's like, man, what a set of bells on that coach.
Sure.
That guy sucks as a quarterback, and he let him throw, and they won.
At the very least, don't throw the ball in the middle of the field.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Like, if you want to throw it, you got to be an Owler's head.
Mm-hmm.
Do not throw it to the middle of the field. And he kind of got flushed out of the pocket, looked to the center, thought he had a receiver open, and then Gray wound up making a sensational play.
I think the idea of trying to go win the game in regulation, because we saw what happened, in overtime with the Texas and Arizona State game. Like, anything can happen, right? Like, you could be down to your last play, and then all of a sudden you win the game. Trying to win, and you had enough time. I don't mind the idea of it. Where I was like, oh no, this could blow up in their face, is when Greg McElroy opened his mouth. And you know that I am a huge proponent of the broadcaster jinx.
Mm-hmm.
You're probably, wondering, what did Greg McElroy say heading into that final drive? Well, this is what he said, Anthony.
How do they play it with 47 seconds to go? Are you aggressive or are you cautious?
I'm aggressive. I mean, I got 2 timeouts. I feel like the momentum's been back and forth. The quarterback, for the most part, all season long, his whole career, Drew Aller's made good decisions. He's got 50-plus touchdowns, only 9 career interceptions. He's not likely a guy that's going to put the ball in harm's way. I trust him. I think he can do it. And I would empower him in this situation to drive him down the field for a game-winning field goal.
And that's the moment I knew that Penn State was losing that game.
And Aller was going to specifically throw an interception.
Yes, because I believe in the broadcaster's jinx.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Marcia, I like what you said there. In theory, hey, go win the game. Yeah, in theory. But if you had been watching that game, you'd been watching your team. If you're James Franklin, you've been watching how the game's playing out. For example, like Bazooka Tooth 75 says, same argument when people make with Dan Campbell's decision. If it works out, he's a genius. If not, then you're sports talk radio fodder. Yes, but
true.
If you're Franklin in that spot, that's your job.
Right.
We're talking about it after the fact. But I don't think it's as easy as go for the win or go for the loss. Mm-hmm. It's how is my team playing to that point? Do I feel as though that my quarterback, who had a shaky night, could get 7, I don't know, whatever Penn State's kicker's range is, right? Let's say it's 55 yards, probably 60 yards.
I don't think it's that.
I mean, to get in, like, you need 50 or so yards to get into his range, right?
I don't think he's kicking a 60-yarder.
I doubt it. But whatever the range is, do I feel comfortable after my wide receivers have done nothing all game? Mm-hmm. Like, that's essentially what you're paid to do. And if we're going to criticize James Franklin for not winning the big one, this factors in.
It looked like he got hit on that play, too. I could be wrong.
He did. He got pressured and then hit. But I still don't think. Like,
you still think he throws the interception?
You can't throw it in the middle of the field like that. I don't know if he gets picked off, but ultimately, it's a bad decision. It's a bad spot to be throwing. It just didn't work out. And credit Notre Dame.
And I think it's cool that Notre Dame makes it to the national championship, because in previous iterations of this tournament, going back even to the BCS, they're not even in it.
Notre Dame's not in it.
So I think this is a success. And we've talked about, well, how will this college football playoff be looked at in its first year? Will it be a success? And
how will it be remembered?
How will it be remembered? Well, for me, it will be remembered as a team that wasn't a top 4 team made it to the national championship, and that is a good tournament, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. It works. The format works. Because you're right, March. It would have been Oregon, Texas, Georgia.
And who was 4 heading in?
4 was Boise.
I think.
Well, no, they would be out. Like,
so
if
it'd be what, Ohio State, maybe?
Probably.
Even with the loss to Michigan?
Oh, maybe not. Maybe Penn State. No, they lost too.
But
at least they made it to the Big Ten championship game.
So whoever it may be, right?
Yeah.
Like, it wouldn't have been, I don't think it would have been Notre Dame.
Nah.
With a loss to Northern Illinois and no conference championship.
Would look bad.
So you're right, March. This is a format that works. And we could talk about, the games haven't always been great, but you can't control that anyways.
I think last night's game made up for some of the clunkers that we saw.
And I think tonight's going to be at least fun. Mm-hmm. So
go Texas.
Go Longhorns.
Let's go, baby.
Waterboy brings up a good point. NIU and the MAC defeated a national championship finalist. He's absolutely right.
Mountain West now. So.
The Mountain West Conference.
Freaking Huskies are bolting. But congratulations to, again, Notre Dame's got 3 kids from St. Louis. Jeremiah Love, the running back from CBC. Christian Gray, the cornerback that made the big play last night, is from DeSmet, and then they got a defensive lineman from Lutheran, I believe. So they've got big-time ties to the area. Notre Dame loves recruiting this area. If you're looking for a team that, to hop on regardless of who wins tonight, you'd might as well hop on the fighting line. I keep saying fighting line. Fighting Irish. Carey's jacked me up here with the fighting line.
Apparently.
It's in my noggin.
Well, at least there's something there.
Hell of a job, too, and I think we'll talk about this at some point. Yeah, that's right. Yes, you're right. Something in there. Bat it around. Just a remarkable job, too, by Marcus Freeman. Notre Dame's got one 5-star recruit. One. Tonight, I think there's like 30 combined between the two teams. 30 combined top 5 star athletes. Notre Dame won. And Marcus Freeman lost his first game ever to Marshall. It's got these boys in the national championship. So nice job to Marcus Freeman. Congratulations to Notre Dame. We'll find out who they play tonight when Ohio State takes on Texas in the Cotton Bowl. We'll have that game for you. 6 o'clock is the pregame. 6:30 is the kickoff. Jeremy Rutherford will join us next. We'll talk a little Blues hockey with him here on 101 ESPN.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. We just got done talking about the Orange Bowl last night as Notre Dame has punched their ticket to the national championship. We'll find out tonight who will the Fighting Irish will be taking on, as we'll have the Cotton Bowl for you right here on 101 ESPN. Pregame starts at 6 and the kickoff will be at 6:30. The Blues with a great win over the Anaheim Ducks last night, 6-2. They'll take on the Columbus Blue Jackets tomorrow. Pregame starts at 5. Puck drop is at 6. We're going to dive into last night's victory for the Blues with our Blues insider from The Athletic, Jeremy Rutherford. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. See them at londoff.com. Chevy, together we drive. Are you kidding me?
Time for the Rutherford Report on 101 ESPN.
Anything you folks want to know about the fascinating world of pro hockey, here we go.
With Jamie Rivers and Anthony Stalter, let's head to our Collier and Thompson phone line where we have our guy Jeremy Rutherford, who covers the Blues for The Athletic. What's up, JR?
What's up, boys? How you doing?
I thought about you last night watching not only the hockey game, but also the Notre Dame and Penn State game, because Notre Dame's got that guy.
He's got that one guy. You're right. They had a lot of that one guy. I've told you guys for years, I don't know how you do it, how you can rattle off the second string left guard at Notre Dame. It's either a talent or a lot of time on your hands, one of those two.
Yeah, you know what? Or just insanity. Anytime JR and I used to do, you could fill in spots and things like that. We had to talk football. Inevitably, I would toss it over to JR and be like, here's the deal with this team. They got that one guy. And they just go on this, long-winded breakdown of that one guy. Nobody knew who the hell that guy was. But JR illustrated it perfectly.
Well, he had a big interception last night. That's all I know.
And he was a St. Louis kid. That's right, Christian Gray. So last night, the Blues start off hot. I asked this of Jamie, and I'd love to get your thought as well, JR. Yeah, the Blues' fast starts have been few and far between. What was it about last night, besides the fact that they're playing the Ducks? But what was it about last night that allowed the Blues to start off fast after Jim Montgomery said, yeah, we're ready to rock?
How about that, guys? Like, Riv, you're there all the time. You're in those press conferences. A lot of times they start off with Jim Montgomery or whoever the coach is sitting down, and then the first question is something along the lines of, what do you got to do tonight? Well, we didn't even get a chance to ask that first question last night because Jim Montgomery took it over by saying, we're ready to rock. You guys better be ready to rock. The fans better be ready to rock. And we talked to Braden Shen after the game, and that's one thing that he brought up. He talked about Jim Montgomery's enthusiasm, disappointment after the Minnesota game. I think that there was some spirited talk from Montgomery in the locker room in Minnesota after that. And I think that positive energy, that positive enthusiasm that Montgomery brings, that's something that the players were talking about last night that really got them off on the right foot.
Yeah, it's a huge thing as a player. You're going to have ups and downs throughout the season. And when you have a coach that can balance that too, nothing's worse than you already lost, and nothing's worse than the next 3 or 4 days just a coach not speaking to anybody. Like, come on. Like, we get it. You're upset. We're upset too. But Monty goes about it a different way. And, Anthony, I just want to bring something to your attention here.
Oh, boy.
Since you poked fun at the Anaheim Ducks. Mm-hmm. The Anaheim Ducks have a win over the Winnipeg Jets and the Tampa Bay Lightning so far in the month of January. And they've got a win over the Ottawa Senators. They've got another win over the Winnipeg Jets. A win over the Oilers. So I don't know what you're making fun of. That was a big win last night over a quality opponent.
Yeah, what place they are in the Pacific?
It doesn't matter.
6?
I didn't even look.
Yeah, no, they had a nice night.
And you guys, you have to beat who's on the schedule, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you, JR.
But you got to beat them. But listen, the way they came out and did it, you could have won that game, and everybody says, yeah, it's Anaheim, and you won the game 3-1. But to get the 3 goals early, and also, what have we been talking about with this Blues team? You need some offensive zone sustained time there, and the Blues, it's been in spurts this season, but last night they were just dominant. I don't know if you guys had the graphic on TV. I never saw the final tally, but that offensive zone time just had to be through the roof last night.
Yeah, and they controlled it. I didn't see the final tally either, JR, but I know that they were dominating in that category. The Ducks at one point had barely been in the offensive zone, and the Blues had spent almost a period in their zone. So, yeah, no, that's a big thing for sure. But, look, let's dive a little deeper. Let's go past last night's game because, yes, it's a big win, but it's only one game. I want to go a little bit deeper into the weeds here, JR. Like, where would this team be without Cam Fowler? And where can this team be once Nick Leddy's back?
Yeah, no, it's a great point. And this defense has really turned it around since Cam Fowler came back. And I guess you have to go back to when Broberg got healthy and came back into the lineup. But it's just littered. The defense is just littered with veteran guys who make small, smart plays. And you can look at the goals against per 60 have gone down almost a goal per game since they got Cam Fowler. And there's just a trickle-down effect for me. That's what the thing is. I mean, you can put a Ryan Suter up there with Parayko and get by for a while, and he did fine. Like, he did probably better than anybody expected. But when you can bump Suter down to the third pair, pluck a Cam Fowler in that top pair with Parayko, play him 22 minutes a game, and he doesn't even blink. And then, oh, by the way, you got Broberg in that second pair back with Falk, who he was so good with early in the season. It just sets up for, good consistency. And I think when you can get a Nick Leddy back, and by the way, you guys probably talked about it, he skated yesterday for the first time with the team. Asked Montgomery about him yesterday, and he said, hey, it's just the start. We have no idea timetable-wise. But we've talked about this a couple weeks ago. I mean, you're talking 3-4 guys with 1,000 games in the league. And so, hey, listen, they might not be the fleetest of foot as a group. They might not be the names where people around the league are going to go, hey, those guys are going to shut the best offensive teams in the league down. I don't think it's that case, but I think they're going to be a steady group that can get this team really through this end of the season.
Yeah, JR, I agree. And I'll just go one step further here is, name a better defensive core in the league. Let's just say you've got Fowler, Parayko, Broberg, Falk, Suter, and Leddy. I know you say, they're getting older, maybe not the most fleet of foot. The only guy that maybe doesn't get up the ice the way he used to is Suter. But right. Fowler's still an elite skater, and we know Leddy's an elite skater.
Yeah, and when I say comparison, I'm talking about the teams around the league where maybe you got that elite guy or elite top pair. You got a Makar, you got those types of guys. People are going to look around the league and name those as a better defense because they're looking at one superstar.
Yeah, they're looking at one or two guys, JR.
Yeah, exactly. But for your dollar, I mean, if you can have the depth and experience that the Blues have, and I'm not disagreeing. I'm not saying this is a slow group. I'm just saying that
I think
you're looking
calling
at
me out, JR.
Yeah. No, you're looking at several guys that are 30 plus, right?
Hey,
and so,
those are youngins to me.
So, hey, I'm older than you. I think by a couple months. I think I got you by a couple months, right?
Probably.
He's not going to admit to it, JR.
I don't know. I'm going to be 50 in March. How old are you?
I'll be 50 in April. Yeah, so
wow.
I'm the young guy here.
Look at you.
Absolutely.
Young buck.
Yeah. We're talking to Jeremy Rutherford, our Blues insider with The Athletic here in the Fast Line on 101 ESPN. JR, this does feel like kind of an important stretch, and I wonder if that's why Jim Montgomery put added emphasis on starting fast last night and having everybody in and all that. With the amount of road games that the Blues have already played, and thus a lot of home games coming up, how important is this home stretch for the Blues to not just win a couple games, but perhaps win them all?
They have to. I mean, you look at it, you got the games left before the Four Nations tournament, and you got, 9 of those games at home, 4 on the road. So you've got a good, steady group of games here at home. And I think last night, yes, it's one game, and yes, it's Anaheim, but I just think the way the Blues came out and took it to them, you try to set that tone, and I think that's what's behind Jim Montgomery trying to get the fans going. You got to make this a hard place to play. Look, really, you can look at a bunch of things, but what it comes down to, are the Blues going to make the playoffs? If they are, they're going to have a 600-point percentage in this group of games before the Four Nations tournament. They really are. And, it's really hard. You look at the standings, and they got the streaks, like teams have won 2 games, 4 games, 5 games in a row. You rarely see 7 and 8 games. But the Blues, it's going to take something like that to send them into that Four Nations break on a high. Like I said, 600-point percentage going into it, and then come back ready to play if you're going to make the playoffs. So I think, like as you say, Anthony, here these home games are going to be the big difference in all that.
JR, we appreciate it. Stay safe on the roads if you're traveling, and we'll talk to you again next week.
Yes, sir. Talk to you guys later, and see you, old man.
See you, young buck.
See ya. This is Jeremy Rutherford, our Blues insider with the Athletic Blues Blue Jackets pregame, 5 o'clock.
We owe them something.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah. It's coming.
Maybe we bring one of those loud guns. Is that what they have?
Be careful saying that around here.
Loud. What do they have?
Cannon.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think it's a gun. It's a form of...
Well, we have those
something
too.
We've got cannons.
Yeah.
Yeah, the towel man's got a cannon of an arm. I saw him throw that towel, 6 times last night?
He's day to day.
Good range.
By the way, guys, this report is he's day to day right now.
Did he throw his arm out?
Yeah, a little bit too much last night. His pitch count got up a little high. So
he'll be fine. He's a pro.
All the best to Talman.
Yeah, he's a pro.
He was with the Cardinals, though. They would have took him out in the 5th.
No question.
After the 3rd goal, they would have definitely went to a lefty.
After they said they needed innings out of him.
Yeah.
Yes. All right, it's Fastlane on 101 ESPN.
It's always a stray.
It's always a stray. Yep. NFL wildcard entrance survey. We're going to do this with each of the 5 weekend games. Obviously, the Rams and the Vikings play on Monday, so we'll save that one for that day. But we'll start off with the Texans and the Chargers. What's going to be the biggest determining factor? Who's the hero? Who's the GOAT? What's our prediction? That's all next. Texans, Chargers, 101 ESPN. It's an exciting time of year for sports. Why don't you get paid for your correct hunches? Underdog Fantasy is a fantastic app. They get the website. You can add your picks, and all you have to do is kind of build your profile, whether you're looking at the NFL games this weekend, and I've got my eye on a couple of them, or maybe college football tonight, or the NBA or NHL. You can combine different players, build your parlay there, and then choose whether or not you're going to go higher or lower on their stats. And then with Underdog, they've got their Champions game, and you can win up to 1,000 times your money just by choosing higher or lower on certain players' stats. So, for example, I think that Joe Mixon is going to have a nice game tomorrow against the Chargers. I'm going to go higher on his rushing number, which is 70 and a half right now. But if I bounce around, I can look at the Blues game tomorrow, or like I said, the college football game tonight. Maybe I like Will Howard to have over a half rushing and receiving touchdowns. Maybe he gets into the end zone from at the goal line. However I want to build my play, I can at Underdog, and then you get paid off. And the champions. The format is outstanding at Underdog. Best place to play champions. You can download the app, sign up with my promo code, which is Anthony. Again, that promo code is Anthony. And then when you deposit, you're going to get up to $1,000 in bonus cash instantly. So when you deposit using that promo code Anthony, you get up to $1,000 in bonus cash instantly just for using my promo code Anthony. Must be 18 or older and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. If you're concerned with your play, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org. rest of the show today, we're going to look at each of the NFL wildcard matchups, starting with the Texans and Chargers. Now, we don't have the games for you tomorrow, but we got the triple header for you right here on 101 ESPN. Bills, Broncos, Eagles, Packers, Bucks, and Commanders with the pregame of that first game between Buffalo and Denver, starting at 11:30 again right here on 101 ESPN. Tomorrow we have the Blues and Blue Jackets. As Jamie said, we owe one to the Blue Jackets here. But if we're looking at this Texans-Chargers game, Marsh, Jamie Rivers, Anthony Stalter, what do you think will be ultimately, what do you think the determining factor will be in this game?
I've put some thought into this. I think it's going to, and this is pretty generic, but I'll explain why I say it. I think it's going to come down to game plan. Mm-hmm. And I defer to Jim Harbaugh, the coach.
Yeah.
I just think he's a better coach. And I think that his game plan will be tailor-made for his team to have success. And his game plan, along with his other coaches, will be tailor-made to make life really difficult for C.J. Stroud. And I think that if quarterback head-to-head, Herbert's a better quarterback than C.J. Stroud. For my dollar, he is. And Harbaugh, for me, is a much better coach. So for me, it's going to come down to game plan.
Marsh? Biggest determining factor tomorrow, Texans, Chargers.
Which team can really establish the run game? Because I think both quarterbacks are very talented. But like Jamie said, C.J. Stroud, at least in this season, has not looked like the better quarterback. I think he has suffered from the sophomore slump. So I think if you get the run game going, and they got a great running back in Joe Mixon. So if you can get that run game going, maybe it alleviates some pressure for your quarterback. So I think that, for me, is the ultimate thing. But I really, truly believe it will come down to coaching. So Jamie kind of took mine, but...
well, you know, sorry, Andrew.
You can roll with it, too. If that's yours, that's yours.
Well, I'm trying to add.
Hey, listen, don't try to add. Be authentic. We want authentic takes in the fast lane.
Here's the thing. The Chargers, the last time they were in the playoffs, they had a commanding lead against Jacksonville.
Yeah, they did. And they won, and they advanced.
No, Anthony, I think you stopped watching like you did the Super Bowl that one year. That came down to coaching.
Yeah.
Because Brandon Staley was...
a rube.
Oh, boy, was he bad.
A Rube Baker.
Mm-hmm.
Not great.
No.
Not great for the Chargers in that game.
And they couldn't run the ball. They couldn't run the ball in the second half. They tried to. They tried to run the ball. They couldn't. And then it was like, uh-oh, now we have to throw again. And that wasn't good because you just kept stopping the clock. And it wound up being a mess.
And I think the Chargers have been at their best when they established the run game. So that's why I brought up, both teams need to establish the run game, maybe for different reasons. But, Carey's been harping on the Chargers' run game all season long. So they can get that going. I think the Chargers will end up winning this game.
I think the biggest determining factor is whether or not Jim Harbaugh is going to allow Justin Herbert to do his thing. And I don't mean throw the ball over the yard. I don't think you have to do that because Houston's outstanding defensively. Their secondary is really good. Derek Stingley Jr. doesn't get enough. I don't think he gets enough praise and credit for the play that he has throughout the course of a year. But if you go into this game and you're cautious and it's a game in the fourth quarter, Houston defensively, they can get you. And C.J. Stroud and Nico Collins still have that big play potential. Joe Mixon, like you said, neither team has been overly efficient running the ball. J.K. Dobbins has had some big plays. It's like one of those things where bottle up, and then all of a sudden he breaks off a long run. Joe Mixon can impact both the running and passing game. If Harbaugh is overly cautious, I could see Houston winning this game. If he allows...
Do you think he's going to be cautious? Look at the man.
I don't know.
The guy's he's eccentric. Look at him.
He's got the khakis from Kohl's. I don't look at him and say he's eccentric.
Telling Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert's in an interview. And they're like, well, at what point did you know you were going to like the new coach?
Yeah.
He goes, I think it was the day that he started to tell me what he remembered from the day he was born. Giving me specific details from the day he was born. He goes, I don't know if it was true or not. He's like, he sure sells it, though.
Yeah, I liked him from that moment.
He's a wacky dude, man.
Is. Yeah, he's the one that was
I don't think he's going to be
spending the night at Michigan recruit's house.
He shows up for dinner. Hey, can I spend the night? Sleeps on the couch.
Yeah.
What? Can you imagine Jim Harbaugh's recruiting your son?
Yeah.
And he's just bellied up on the couch?
Right.
Weird.
Anyways.
I don't think he's going to be too cautious. He's a winning football coach.
He is.
He's coming off a national championship. It's college, I get it, but he's buzzing.
He's just one of those guys that's like, hey, let's play good defense. Let's run the ball. Let's get the game to the fourth quarter. He's one of those guys,
and
which is
when we
fine.
need a big play, I'm going to tap the OC on the shoulder and say, hey, what do you got for me?
Well, let's see if that's the case tomorrow. All right, who's your hero for tomorrow?
Justin Herbert.
Marsh?
The hero? Man, that's a good. I think it has to be Justin Herbert. Has to be Justin Herbert. Now, are we picking a hero for our winner?
Bosa?
It could be.
For the winner? I think there has to be a hero on both sides.
Wow.
Like, it has to be both quarterbacks.
What,
like
what
CJ
about
Stroud.
a zero?
No.
Zero?
I think it needs to line up because we're going to make a prediction, so I think it's going to line up here.
So, yeah, Justin Herbert.
I'm going to go Joe Mixon.
Oh.
I'm going to go Joe Mixon. I think Joe Mixon has not. He's not going to go off, right? Like we talk about things in fantasy terms. He's not going to go off, but I think he's going to have a really big game.
All right.
Who's the GOAT? Not the GOAT and like Tom Brady. I'm talking about like the GOAT.
Like Chicago Cubs
like
type
the Chicago Cubs type GOAT. Yeah.
I think it's going to be CJ Stroud. I think the moment's going to be too big for him.
It's a good pick.
I just think I just
He
don't
just
have
hasn't had a- he
I
hasn't
don't
had a
have
good year.
confidence in him. Bring this up last year, and I said I think he's going to shine because it seemed like everything was going the right way for the Texans. He came out of nowhere. Oh my gosh, right? I don't feel that way this year.
I think it's got to be Quentin Johnson. He's expected to play on Saturday. He's had a decent year, but he also is very prone to dropping big-time passes in key moments.
Are you taking the Texans then?
No, no.
Okay. Because Quentin Johnson was mine. Because it lines up with where I'm going with this. I think the Chargers. I think he's going to have one of those. Because you're right, he's going to have one of those moments. Yes. There was a big moment in the game. I think it was a Sunday night game, and he could have got a first down wide open, dropped the pass. Like he either catches a long pass and sets up the Chargers, or he drops one George Pickens style.
I think he might make things difficult for the Chargers. But that's why you got a guy like Ladd McConkey. That's the guy you go to. So I think the Chargers can overcome whatever Quentin Johnston might end up doing, if that is the case.
All right, so prediction.
Oh, I got the Chargers.
I'm going with the Chargers.
I told you yesterday, I got a weird feeling the Texans win this game. I think it's going to be close in the end, and I think the Texans wind up either they're on the field defensively and get a big stop late,
you are anymore.
or it's a field goal type game, and the Texans win. It's going to be close. This will not be a blowout. I think Houston's defense is too good, so I'm going to go off the board and take the Texans in a small upset as a home underdog. Justin Herbert has not won yet, and I love Justin Herbert. I have to fight with Carey all the time about Justin Herbert, but.
He's also never had a coach like Harbaugh.
No, he is not. Not even close. You're right about that.
Yeah.
BK and Ferrario and T-Bone went off on the Cardinals being cheapos. We'll play that audio and dive into why the latest version of the Cardinals potentially being cheapos. Next on 101 ESPN.
They have only had 5 total hearings since 1999. 5 total in the past 25 years. They're on the docket for potentially up to 3 this season.
Oh, for God's sake.
The relationship between the club and those players soured because of those arbitration cases. Like, this is not something you want to do, especially with Brendan Donovan, who you're counting on to lead you, literally lead the team through this retool right now. He has emerged as one of the biggest leaders on the club, and you're potentially taking him to arbitration over what, a couple $100,000? It's nonsense, dude. Some of what we're seeing right now with this team is just so incredibly puzzling, the way that they are navigating through this offseason. And so I want to believe, just out of pure optimism, that there has to be something more here. There has to be something that we are not seeing, and we're losing the forest through the trees. But this notion that they're going to go to arbitration against Brendan Donovan and Andre Palante, who saved your ass multiple times over the last few seasons, over $200,000, that's what we're doing here? That's what we've arrived at? Either that is way too cheap of the organization, or there is more to this story.
That's our guy, Brandon Kiley, BK and Ferrario. That was earlier today, and they were discussing the Cardinals arbitration cases with Brendan Donovan and Lars Nootbaar. According to Mark Feinsand, the arbitration exchange update was that Brendan Donovan filed at $3.3 million. The Cardinals filed at $2.85 million. So roughly $450,000 apart from Brendan Donovan, and the report is that they're about $500,000 apart from Lars Nootbaar.
Wait, a whole $500,000?
Yeah.
Wow. How are they going to? Wow, that's a lot, Anthony.
$500,000.
Okay.
If this is true, go ahead. Yep. Go ahead. Yep.
One question.
Yeah.
How much did Paul Goldschmidt make last year?
Oh, a ton.
$20 million?
Ish? 18, something like that.
18. We'll go with 18.
Yeah, sure.
And you can't find $500,000 now that he's gone?
You can find it in your couch cushions, DeWitt.
Probably. Anyways.
Actually, probably not. They're very responsible. They probably got it in funds and accounts. And
oh, yeah. They're much smarter than we are.
Oh, yeah. Their money's making them
Just
money.
ask them.
Ours are like...
What? No, what?
Whoa. Yeah. Anyway... I feel like now, if this is true, I feel like where we are right now with the Cardinals are they understand the dollar amount of everything and the value of nothing.
Oh, yeah. They're going to be that team now that charges their team for soda in the locker room.
They're going to become the ace.
Yep. Yes. It's $1 here in St. Louis. I just saw that movie the other day. Otherwise...
Moneyball.
Yeah.
That's a good
all off-brand drinks, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, so you're paying for it, but it's what is it like?
I don't know.
You want a yeah, that's where I was going.
You want a Dr. Pepper? We'll give you a Dr. Fizz.
Yeah. I was about to say, if you're like, nope, don't do that. Nope, don't insult them.
Nah, we just won't. Yeah, we'll stay away from that.
We'll just shut up.
Brendan Donovan has been a seemingly, because we're not in the clubhouse every day, seemingly a better leader than some of the other leaders you've had here before.
Oh, clearly.
I'm not talking about Albert. I'm not talking about Yachty. I'm not talking about Waino. I'm not talking about those guys. I'm talking about recently.
Yeah, like that guy played first base.
Maybe.
The guy's still playing third.
Hey, there's different ways to lead. Okay?
No, it's just different positions, too.
And different positions, certainly.
Absolutely.
But when it comes to Donovan, seems like he's somebody that has had a good pulse of your clubhouse and what is needed. That's a guy seemingly that you pay $450,000 and you call it a day. You know, meet the asking price.
I don't get it. I don't understand the strategy unless they're looking to work on an extension of some kind. Mm-hmm. Unless they're just like, no, hang on, wait. While we're negotiating, let's just say no, take it to arbitration. And, yeah, go ahead.
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. It's much better than what I have to say. I guarantee it.
Bill DeWitt. The snake pit goes, $1 for a Mountain Thunder? You haven't lived until you had Mountain Thunder. I'm sorry, Jamie.
Oh my God. No, it's much better. I don't even know what I was going to say now. Yeah. That's how irrelevant it was.
Right.
I think I was saying...
Is it like we're here?
I think I was saying that if they're working on an extension, I can understand why they did the arbitration. It buys them more time to talk and all that stuff.
Yeah, sure.
But I don't believe that to be true.
$3.3 million for Brendan Donovan seems pretty. It seems like a layup to me.
Oh, well, he plays every position on the diamond, and he's your backup catcher if need be.
He's a backup quarterback, too, if the Battlehawks need him.
Oh, I bet he could do it.
I'm sure he could. He could do anything.
Yeah,
$3.3 million?
I don't get it.
Come on.
You're giving Steven Matz $11 million a year to play 7 games.
Yeah. You can't find...
What?
You can't.
Am I wrong?
No.
You can't find $3 million to give Brendan Donovan, who literally plays like every day?
Right.
Every position?
Hey, we need you to sell hot dogs today, Brendan. No problem. Got you covered. You can't find money for him? How about Andre Palante, who saved your ass last year?
Not just last year, every year. That guy, remember 2 years ago, he broke spring training and he was part of the roster. We're like, who the hell is this Palante?
Who the hell is Palante?
He was like a mid-relief guy out of the bullpen, just like whatever. Then he turned into your closer at one point.
Yeah.
Then he was a starter. Mm-hmm. Then you sent him back down because you weren't happy with him because you screwed him up, and now he wasn't performing. Goes down to Memphis, comes back up, and now he's in your rotation because all the other guys you had either stunk or were hurt at that time. Mm-hmm. So let's throw him back in the mix here, and he becomes arguably your second best pitcher next to Sonny Gray.
That's correct.
Okay.
Your most consistent guy outside of Sonny Gray.
And he's young.
Yeah.
So we're going with the youth movement.
Let's take him off.
But we're going to tick off.
Right.
Yeah. Seems brilliant to me.
What are we doing? What are we doing? Like, even if you want to save money, you have to admit this isn't the way to do it.
No, just raise the price of beer.
Yeah, for the 4 people about to show up.
It reminds me of Uncle Mac from Rookie of the Year. $3 for a hot dog? Which would be insane, by the way, if you could get a $3 hot dog at the ballpark.
That'd be fantastic these days. But come on, man. Yeah, John from the Snake Pit has a good idea. Pass a hat. That's where we're going right now. You show up to the game. Cardinals, somebody from the Cardinals are going to pass a hat. Put a couple $dollars in the hat. Make sure that everybody gets paid. This is where we're at.
Did you just say put the money in the hat?
That's what John said. John brought up pass the hat.
Next year at Cardinals games, there's going to be a beer guy and there's going to be a hat guy.
Yeah.
He's going to walk down the stairs, pass the hat. Mm-hmm. Give what you can.
Time for the 50-50. Ah, man, we didn't find a winner.
Right.
Yeah. Again. No, the winner is so-and-so.
Yeah. Oh, I did it. It's a Cardinals.
They pick a name out of the phone book.
Come on. Yep. Well,
it's a bad look.
It's a bad look.
And 5, you mentioned 5. 5 players since the 90s?
Yeah.
And you have 3 this year?
And the previous ones didn't work out.
Yeah.
In terms of, like, you retaining them. Flaherty, Walker. Now, Flaherty was traded. I get it. I understand why each and every guy eventually went on their way, but still.
Well, the relationships were not great.
No. Mm-mm. It's just silliness. Listen, if they're working on something bigger, long-term.
Yeah, we may need to
then, you know what? Then
pump the brakes.
Well, but wait. At that point, I will come on these airwaves and I will apologize. I have no problem doing it. I've been wrong a lot in my life.
Like a real apology or a fast
apology?
A
real one. Like a real one. Like genuine. I have no problem doing that when I'm wrong. But right now, it doesn't make sense to me that they're doing this. And until they show me different, I'm going to question their motives as an ownership group right now as to what the hell they're doing. Why are they playing hardball with 2 guys that are part of your youth movement / retool? And 2 guys that show up to the baseball field every day and play hard every day.
Yeah. You're gonna play hardball with these guys.
Yeah.
The ones that go to the post every day.
And you're going to spoon feed other guys that don't care.
Yeah.
So until I'm proven different, and when I will apologize.
Makes sense. Yep. Makes sense. Dr. Xander says, how much is Michael Gersh being paid to organize birthday parties? Seems like the place to cut.
Well, he's a special assignments guy.
Special assignment guy.
Projects.
Special projects.
He's going to be the one that kind of organizes this pass the hat thing that the Cardinals are going to do at Busch Stadium next year.
Now, is it a big hat, or is it like one of those Sunday hats?
It's a card
or a nacho helmet.
Yeah, it's probably a nacho helmet.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Probably not washed out.
You got to buy it first, and then and then eat everything.
One person in every section has to go buy the helmet, and then pass the helmet around and report back to security.
Right. And it's just Greg Amsinger is also going to pass out a flyer that says, if you don't buy this helmet, you're not a Cardinal fan.
No. If you don't put money in this helmet, you're the problem.
You're the problem. Yeah. So somebody, be a true Cardinal fan, go buy that nacho helmet.
Greg Amsinger, he's petitioning to be in the front office, I
think so, too.
Watch this in the next year to be Greg Amsinger, now special assistant to Chaim Bloom.
All right, we'll continue our NFL wildcard entrance survey, Steelers and Ravens. I don't think we're going to see an upset in this one, but the biggest factor in the game, hero, GOAT, predictions next on 101 ESPN.
If you're looking to download the best sports betting app out there, look no further. Download Circus Sports Illinois. You can visit their website, and you can also find the app on any app store that's available. And all it is, guys and girls, is the world's largest sports book that's brought right to the palm of your hand. Derek Stevens, the owner of Circa Las Vegas, told me years ago that this is what he wanted to create, and he's done it. And not only has he created an app, it's the best one out there. You get the best odds out of any app that's out there currently. Download any app you want. Look at the odds and look at Circa Sports. You'll see that you're getting the best odds with Circa Sports. They also have great lines on their futures bets. They tight money line splits, great player props, parlays, all that stuff available with Circa Sports. There's also no betting limit, so you can do exactly what you want anytime you choose to. It's very user-friendly. You can bet on your favorite teams, your players, all of that with ease. It's sports betting the way it should be. So please don't miss out on any of the action. Download the app, bet like a pro with your Circa Sports Illinois app today, and join in on all of the excitement. If you or someone you know may have a problem with gambling, call 1-800-GAMBLER or text ILGAMB to 833-234.
slate continues for NFL Wildcard Weekend with the Ravens and the Steelers. The biggest determining factor in this game, I'll start off, it's the play of Russell Wilson. Because if Russell Wilson has a good game, it's not inconceivable that the Steelers, who already have a win against the Ravens this season and who have played very well against Lamar Jackson, it's not inconceivable that the Steelers go into Baltimore and beat them. However, Russell Wilson hasn't played well in about a month.
Anthony, the spread is 9.5.
Not going to happen. So how bad does Russell Wilson play? Because if he's awful, they're going to get boat raced. If he's average, I think they get boat raced. If he's good, then I can maybe see one of those, 20-13 Ravens wins. Either way.
Well, we know one thing for sure. The Steelers are not outgunning the Ravens.
No.
As far as the offense. I don't even know what the highest point total the Steelers put up this year. I don't think they got to 30 points in a game. Could be wrong.
They did. Yeah, they did. They had a big game against Washington, I believe.
In Cincinnati, the first go-around.
In Cincinnati. But to your point, Jamie, they're few and far between. They got to 40.
They put up 30 against the Jets and the Raiders.
They get to 44
The Bengals, the Browns. No, the Bengals. So three times they went above 30 points.
To your point.
To my point. Yeah. Before you guys had to jump in and try to sabotage me.
No, we're just we're here for you.
Yeah, you guys just called me out. It's fine.
We're here for you. We love you, and we want you to be the best Jamie that you can be.
Well, that is not setting the bar very high.
Fair enough.
But that being said, the Steelers don't have enough firepower. Their defense is great, but now you're relying on your defense to completely shut down Lamar Jackson when they've had ample time to prepare for this game now? I just don't know, man. I'm sorry, Carey.
He knows.
Somewhere in Puerto Rico. That's why he left, by the way.
Hey, he didn't want to talk about this game.
He didn't want to talk about this. He didn't want to have to even watch it.
He's been doing the whole, here we go. He's been doing that for months.
We haven't heard that in
4 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks.
Been a minute.
You know why?
Because they stink.
They've been awful.
Yeah.
And do you also know why? Because they started playing better teams.
Remember we said that?
Mm-hmm. Like, hey, you've been compiling wins against teams that are not so great. What if the schedule changes? And he kept saying, yeah, but here we go. He kept saying it. And then they played teams that are actually good, and they got taken behind the woodshed. So, yeah. Marsh, your biggest impact?
Derrick Henry. How many times is he going to run the ball? We saw
26.
throughout the year that sometimes the Ravens would not go to the running game and that they would shoot themselves in the foot. I think the biggest determining factor is if they just give him the ball and just let him run. Just let him run. That's why you brought him in. Lamar Jackson, he won't have Zay Flowers. So let's just give Derrick Henry the ball and let him loose, essentially. That's my biggest determining factor is Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
I totally agree.
It's as simple as that.
He's Derrick Henry, the hero. I'll say aye.
Aye.
Yeah, I agree, Marsh. I think because this is always the thing with the Ravens. They get into the playoffs, and then they're like, Lamar, please, God, do your thing. We have no game plan, so you just save us. And then when he doesn't, it's like, well, Lamar can't win the big one. Last year, when they faced the Chiefs in the AFC Championship game, they were thoroughly outcoached. Yet again, Todd Monken, the offense coordinator, forgot he had running backs on the roster. Like, it was just a mess. This is a perfect opportunity. No Zay Flowers. Nobody else in that passing game is going to scare you. Rashad Bateman has had a decent season. He's one of those guys who can find the end zone, and he's got 7-8 touchdowns this year. Great. He's also somebody that is drop prone and doesn't scare you. He's not keeping you up at night. Mark Andrews, excellent tight end. Isaiah Likely, you guys know how I feel about Isaiah Likely. I don't think, though, that this is a passing game plan for the Ravens. Doesn't have to be. Doesn't need to be. Derrick Henry can take this game over.
Well, you got Derrick Henry and you have Lamar Jackson. It's a two-headed animal for the running game.
Sure.
Like, you can go play action and still have the quarterback run it.
Don't lose the game, right? Like, Lamar, don't lose the game.
I think that the game plan should be Derrick Henry, Lamar, we're running, and then we're going to hit something big down the field.
Right.
Because it'll open up. Inevitably, it will have to, because they'll have to bring more guys up to the line of scrimmage to try and stop Derrick Henry and all that. And that'll open up something at some point. And now it's just, can Lamar make that play? Can they connect with the receiver? Can they,
Right.
That to me is going to be the thing.
The GOAT, not the Tom Brady GOAT, but the GOAT, George Pickens.
I got Russell Wilson. I think he gets in his own way. I think they fall behind. I think he gets relied upon too much to do too much at that point, and he just doesn't have what he once had before or the players, and he's going to throw a couple of picks, and it's going to get ugly.
Yeah.
For me, it's Arthur Smith.
I like that one.
This is a game where you have to make sure that your offense is creative, not in like a Ben Johnson type of way, but you have to figure out a way to put Russell Wilson in the best situation for him to succeed. The Steelers can run the ball. They have Najee Harris, Jalen Warren, they have running backs. I don't think they can run the ball. Really?
I do not like the running game. Continue, Marsh. Sorry, I cut you off.
I'm just saying.
I don't like the game. I don't like the running game.
They can at times. We've seen it happen. They can do it. Now, will they do it?
No.
Probably not. But Arthur Smith has to figure out a way to make sure that this team can stay competitive throughout the game, because I do think the defense will show up. It's not like the Ravens are going to blow out the Steelers from the defensive standpoint. Now, they could if the Steelers are giving them good field position, if they're turning the ball over on their side of the field. That cannot happen. But I think Arthur Smith has an interesting track record. I think he ends up being the GOAT of this game.
Yeah. I like that one a lot.
The bad GOAT.
Yeah. I've seen Arthur Smith's game plans before. They're either unnecessarily complicated or overly simplistic, and he's got no counterpunch. He may script a good 10 plays. I wouldn't be totally shocked if the Steelers get the ball first, they go down the field, settle for a Boswell field goal, and they're like, hey man, we're in this thing.
Yeah.
And then Smith's got no counterpunch at all. He's got nothing to combat what Baltimore does. We saw it against Cincinnati. Cincinnati's like, hey, you know what, Russ? We know you're about two things: scrambling around and throwing the ball deep and winning the 50-50 balls. So we're going to take that away. We're going to force you to throw in the middle of the field. And the Steelers like, Pat Freiermuth, save us. There was no counterpunch. So I think Baltimore takes away the run. They take away the 50-50 ball, and that's it. Good night, Irene.
I think it's going to be a 27-13 game, but it's not going to feel that close.
I like that. Yeah. You got a score for us?
I like that one.
So do I.
27-13.
I think
I'll go 27-10.
Get out of my head.
No, I think Boz gets at least 2 field goals.
I'll go 27-6.
Can we go lower?
Yeah.
Yeah. I had, in my head, I was thinking 27-10, like a touchdown and a field goal. That's all they're going to be able to muster up, the Steelers.
I'll go 27-12. Four field goals from Boz. Couple from 50.
I don't know. I feel like Pat Freiermuth gets in the end zone.
I could see that.
But like I said,
they're tight end.
Like I said, I don't feel like it's going to be a 14-point game throughout the entire game. It could be a late touchdown, but it wouldn't really matter.
It wouldn't matter.
And that's where my touchdown's coming late in the fourth quarter.
That's Andrew Marsh. We'll also look at the Sunday games a little bit later on throughout the show. In fact, I think we'll do one in about 15 minutes or so. But Marsh has got what's trending next on 101 ESPN.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. The Blues pick up a victory last night on home ice against the Anaheim Ducks. 6-2 the final. They'll take on the Columbus Blue Jackets tomorrow. Pregame starts at 5. Puck drop is at 6. Tonight, we'll have the Cotton Bowl for you, the second semifinal in the college football playoff as Ohio State goes up against Texas. Pregame starts at 6. Kickoff is at 6:30. The winner will take on Notre Dame in the national championship. We have What's Trending coming up next right here in the Fast Lane. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is brought to you by
Saliga
Heating and Cooling, an independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
What's trending now in the world of sports?
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
What's Trending Now is brought to you by Goodwill, creating opportunities and changing lives. Together, building a brighter future. Give hope, give local, give Goodwill.
Welcome back to the Fast Lane here on 101 ESPN with Anthony Stalter and Jamie Rivers. I'm Andrew Marsh, and it's time for What's Trending. Gentlemen, today, 32 Thoughts, the podcast with Elliot Freeman and Kyle Bukakis. They were talking about...
What'd you call us?
What?
Whoa.
Hey, whoa.
What did he call you?
No, that was a guy's name.
Yeah.
Nothing. Jamie. Nope.
Oh.
He didn't call me.
I was like, man, it's Friday, too.
Yeah.
No, I'm not that mean.
Come on. Marsh, as you were.
Yes, 32 Thoughts. They had some words on your St. Louis Blues, and it got me pretty fired up. So let's take a listen to what the National Viewpoint had to say on your Blues.
All right.
We saw St. Louis last week. They're on fire, looking pretty good, and they're still out of the playoff race. That's a team, I think. Doug Armstrong, he already went out and he got Cam Fowler. As we've talked about, centers are
really well.
Very well, very well. And I see him adding another forward. Like I thought Saad was going. If you've seen the quotes, Jim Montgomery has really worked to get Saad, making him feel important again. I'm not convinced anymore that guy's going. Now watch, they'll trade him tomorrow. But you know,
the hat trick last week, though.
That's right. I mean, you know, I look at that and I say, the best thing you can do. There's two things you can do. You can trade your problem or you can solve your problem. It's always better to solve your problem. And I look at what Montgomery's doing with not only him but other players. And Doug Armstrong, he wants to make the playoffs. I can see him striking and going for it.
So one thing that he brought up was Brandon Saad. He brought up Brandon Saad, and there was some trade rumors floated out at the back half of 2024. Maybe Brandon Saad would be on the move. He had been healthy scratched a few times going back to that game in Dallas. But Brandon Saad, since 2025, starting off with that game against the Ottawa Senators, he has 6 points. He scored the hat trick the other night. He's looked pretty good in the last few games. He talked about Jim Montgomery sort of solving the problem for the Blues. Obviously, you know, we bring up Brandon Saad, but do you feel that way with a lot of these other players on the roster, that Jim Montgomery has essentially solved the Blues' problems and have gotten to play at just a different level?
Well, look at the players. Let's just go through the lineup quickly here. We already talked about Jordan Kyrou, right? Since Jim Montgomery has taken over, there really hasn't been a game where you're like, Kyrou's a dog. Hey, he didn't do anything last night. And that really hasn't been. Like, if you look and you just look at numbers, he was -1 in a game at the beginning of December. Okay, that still doesn't tell the story.
And what about that game in Florida? Huh?
It's -2 in the third period.
Like, when the entire team plays bad, it's pretty easy to just pick a player. But I'm just saying, so he's done his work with Kyrou. Look at the evolution of Zach Bolduc since Monty's taken over. Zach Bolduc could barely get in the lineup for Drew Bannister and didn't really know where he fits. Now he fits on the third line, playing pretty well, playing physical, playing responsible defensively. And you look at Brandon Saad. You look at Dylan Holloway. Dylan Holloway was, he's fine. Start of the year. Now he's exploded as a player. I just look at the lineup, go through player for player, and they have performed better under Jim Montgomery. And I think it's because he's just very honest with them. He's also a very positive thinker. He doesn't dwell on just highlighting the negatives. He doesn't treat people like he's always mad at them. He literally treats the team like he's a part of it. I'm in this with you guys. I think it makes a difference.
And, at the beginning of the year, there was a lot of conversation about, well, why is Drew Bannister mixing up these lines? The lines are being jumbled up. Like, it seemed like every game.
Well, it was.
It was. Right now, though, I feel like they have, minus a few other guys being plugged in, and Fox is back now for the WTF line. But it feels like they found the right chemistry with all four of their lines, and the defense core as well. And we'll touch on Nick Leddy potentially coming back too. And you asked JR that question, but it seems like they found their rhythm with every single line combination, and I think that goes a long way.
It does. It also makes it tough for guys like Texier, Joseph, and Perunovich right now. Because this team is showing great chemistry. The lines are shaping up. They look exactly this is what we want.
Yeah.
But you're not in the lineup. So where do you fit as a player? And that will be Jim Montgomery's biggest project, is still making those players feel like they're a part of all this. And he will have to make decisions to get those guys games. And somebody will have to come out, and there'll have to be some tinkering, because you can't completely lose your team or a part of your team, because what if there's an injury that happens?
Right.
You need to make sure everybody's still on board, everybody's happy going to the rink. You don't have to like your situation. I'm not saying that, but got to try and keep everybody dialed in, and that's going to be that's always the biggest challenge for a coaching staff.
It does seem like Texier has been playing a lot better compared to the beginning of the season. I've liked his game as of recent. He's
a victim of numbers right now. He's a victim of circumstance, meaning that Radek Faksa comes back, and that WTF line is great. Yeah. It's a slightly lesser version of what we had with Sundqvist, Steen, and Barbashev. Sundqvist, Steen, and Barbashev, there were goal-scoring ability there. Steener's an offensive player. Barbashev's shown he's a 20-plus goal scorer. I don't think you have that in Faksa, Toropchenko, and Walker. But what you do have is the flip side of being responsible defensively and being able to play against any line in the league, and that's a nice luxury. So you had to take Texier out. You're not taking Neighbors out. I don't think you take Bolduc out. You're certainly not touching Holloway, Kyrou, Shen. You're certainly not touching Thomas and Buchnevich, and Saad recently playing very well. So it's just the way it is.
Do you think, and we talked about this, I believe, last week when Saad was inserted onto that first line, do you think that is essentially what has jump-started this 2025 half for him?
For Saad?
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. You go from healthy scratch, fourth line, you're trying to chip in, and Monty was paying attention in practice and games, and he was noticing things that Saad was doing. He said, you know what? He's earned the opportunity now to go play in a top six role. Just happened to be in the top role, in the top line. And what happened? Capitalized right away. Yeah. Goes out, scores 3 goals. And now what do you do? He's got to stay there.
Real quick here, Carson Beck, Miami. Thoughts on that?
The Dolphins?
No, not the Dolphins, Anthony. He will not be going to the NFL. The Hurricanes.
I think this is pretty smart by Carson Beck. He had the injury. At first, he was going to declare for the NFL draft. He must have got some pretty good advice. Like, hey, why don't you go back to school? Your tape at Georgia this past year, not great. Now you're hurt. You really want to go through the NFL medicals and stuff like that at the combine, and just to be a 4th or 5th round pick, or you want to go to Miami, earn a little do-re-mi in the NIL game, and then try your hat again at the NFL.
The Georgia quarterback is transferring to Miami?
Yes.
$4 million, I believe, is what he's getting.
What?
That's a pretty good cut of change.
Why would he leave Georgia?
Because he didn't have the best year, and I think he
didn't have the best year on one of the best teams.
Yeah. Well, that's a different story.
Yeah. Well,
I don't know. I'm asking. Did he do something wrong?
No. I
feel like you're covering up something.
I think he wanted to go to the NFL. So I think he was like he skipped Georgia's play. Like, he wasn't there with the Bulldogs when they lost to.
Well, he was injured too.
Notre Dame. Yeah, he was hurt. So he's like, hey, I'm going to forego all this. I'm hurt. The initial plan was to go with the NFL. Somewhere between then and now, he has decided I'm going to go back to. I'm going to forego the NFL. I'm going to go back to college here.
Yeah, but not just going back to college. I'm going to transfer.
Yeah.
That's just weird to me.
Well, maybe they were ready to move on from him.
Maybe they said, don't bother coming back.
I mean, the kid that won the SEC title game for him, championship game, played pretty well.
Anthony is just odd.
He won great against Notre Dame, but maybe Georgia also has decided that they, like Marsh said, we're out.
And from a Miami standpoint, does this make sense for Miami? Because Cam Ward was their quarterback last year, very dynamic quarterback, could make things happen. One of the best, if not the best quarterback in all of the country this past year.
They must not love what they have on their depth chart.
So the text line's blowing up saying that his girlfriend goes to Miami.
Well, she does.
Who cares? She went to Miami this year, too. Maybe he just doesn't like her being alone there. I don't know. If that's the case, buddy. I mean, grow a pair.
I don't.
No, too much.
No, it's peaches. Peaches are the Georgia.
Yeah, peaches
not
are
pears.
Oh, my bad. You're right.
Peaches. But he's not there anymore, so it could be a pear. I don't know what Florida has to offer in terms of fruit, but
oranges, citrus.
That's true. You're right. So
citrus. Look, I don't know. All I know is he wasn't NFL ready. So
I don't think he'll ever be NFL ready.
Probably not. Well, if the girlfriend goes there, fantastic. Good for him.
All right.
Yeah. Could have found himself a new girlfriend no matter where he went, but, hey.
I was going to say, Georgia probably
maybe it's love, Marsh. Maybe it's love.
He's doing fine.
Yeah, I think he's fine.
He's fine.
All right. Bills, Broncos. We'll do our NFL entrance survey on this game. Who's the hero, the GOAT, prediction, all that coming up next on 101 ESPN. The first game of the triple-header on Sunday in the NFL has the Denver Broncos going to the Buffalo Bills, and this one's kind of fascinating. And Jamie, I'm interested in your take because I feel like you're maybe not predicting that Denver's going to win the game, but I feel as though that you think Denver is going to keep this game close. So ultimately, what is the biggest factor in your eyes when you look at this Broncos-Bills game?
Josh Allen.
Old Joshy Poo.
It is, because if Josh Allen plays like the MVP that he's probably going to be this year, then I don't think the Broncos have a chance. They just don't. Yeah. If Josh Allen has a couple of hiccups, whether it's missed passes that just don't find the receiver, or interceptions, or a fumble, or a 40-yard sack like it's happened in the past, you never know. I don't see Bo Nix losing this game for Denver. I also don't see him necessarily winning the game for Denver.
Sure.
I see him just managing the game properly. I think Sean Payton's going to put in a game plan that will cater to what Bo Nix does best, to where it just don't lose us the game. So for me, the biggest factor is going to be Josh Allen. Is Josh Allen going to just win the game for the Bills, or is he going to lose it for the Bills? That's my prediction.
I am gonna take the opposite angle here. I'm gonna take Bo Nix. I think the biggest factor is whether or not Bo Nix is an absolute travesty. You know,
could be young quarterback, first playoff game, in Buffalo.
And look, I think you bring up a really good point about Sean Payton and the game plan. Bo Nix, there is zero fear to his game. I love it. You know,
I really like him.
If there's a running lane, he'll take it. He's not afraid to throw downfield. I think one of the biggest things in terms of quarterback play is, are you taking shots downfield, or are you looking to dink and dunk all day long? So it was one of the biggest things that really frustrated me about Sam Bradford. Sam Bradford
That's only one thing that frustrated you?
Well, it's one of the biggest things about Sam Bradford was the dink and dunk mentality that he seemed to have. Cousins has that at times, where it's like, oh God, I'll just dump it off. Come on, man.
Yeah.
So Nix is not afraid to throw the ball vertically. No. It has gotten him into some trouble too. That game against the Browns, he had like 6 million yards passing, 7 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. You know, I was like,
he's channeling his Jameis Winston.
He certainly was. Who happened to be on the other side of the field that night. But I think for me, it's like, does Buffalo force him to hold the ball? Because if he's not throwing in rhythm, on time, all of that, I think it could be problematic. If he's getting the ball out of his hands quickly like he was earlier in the year, I think this winds up being more of a game than we think.
Yeah. I still think it's going to be a hell of a game. I do. I have not written off the Broncos in this game.
Yeah. I think for me, it's the Denver Broncos defense. Not a bad defense by any stretch of the means. So can they keep the offense in the game? Because we know that Josh Allen and the Bills can strike early, and next thing you know, you look at the score and it's like 14-0 in the first half of the first quarter.
Yeah.
And then at that point, you're like, oh, man, like we're already down by 2 scores. This is not great. So if the defense can keep the Broncos in the game, I think they have a shot. I do believe that it is going to be a closer game than what people think. And we're all on the same page. But I do believe it comes down to which version of the Broncos defense is going to show up.
Who's your hero?
My hero for this game? Man, I think it's Josh Allen.
Yeah,
like he's right? Yeah. I mean, maybe you throw James Cook in there if they get him going, because it could be a James Cook game. I don't know, but it's Josh Allen. He's the guy.
For me, if I thought that the Broncos could pull off the upset, I'd say the hero's going to be Bo Nix. But I think it's going to be a good game. I just don't see them beating the Bills. So for me, it's Josh Allen.
And I could see like Shakir having a big game.
Yeah.
I just can't.
But does he have a big game without Josh Allen?
No.
That's the main thing. All roads lead back to the quarterback.
Yeah, I think this is Allen's game. I've asked this, like, who's the GOAT? Is there a GOAT in this one? Like, it's kind of, if it's going to be, it's probably Bo Nix. But
yeah.
Do you guys think there's a GOAT, or do you think this is just going to be a good game? Because that's kind of where I'm at. I think this is just going to be a good game overall, and I can see the Bills winning, by 10.
I think maybe you could throw Cortland Sutton in there from the standpoint of he's not getting the targets that he typically does, because when he's not getting the ball thrown to him, this Broncos team, it seems like they're not winning games, and they're not in it.
Well, it's because I don't trust their ground game. Like,
I don't
three
either.
guys, and when you've got 3 running backs, you don't really have.
If you have 3, you don't have 1.
Yeah, it's like, hey, we're a committee. Yeah, you're a committee because you have to be.
Yeah.
Marvin Mims has had a couple of big games of late, but I don't think he's going to be a dud or a
Mimster.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't think he changes. Like, him being a non-factor, I don't think hurts you, but him being a factor definitely helps you.
Sure.
It's like the boom or bust type thing.
Yeah, I feel you. All right, prediction time.
Bills, I see a game that will be like 35-27. Bills.
Okay, a little bit of a shootout then.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't know what the score will be, but I think it's going to be a 2-score game, close game up until probably the beginning half of the fourth quarter.
I like the Bills like 31-20. You know, I think it could be a game that goes back and forth. But Buffalo at home,
yeah,
the floor for them is 27 points at home, and typically they get over that. So I think, given Denver's defense, I'll say it's kind of capped at 31 for Buffalo. That's still pretty high though. So 31-20.
If there's going to be a GOAT for the Bills that's not Josh Allen, who would it be?
Sean McDermott.
Yeah, that's where I was headed.
Yeah. Sean McDermott, something happens, he gets schooled by Sean Payton. But I don't think we give Sean McDermott enough credit. I think the narrative.
What's he ever won?
He hasn't won anything big yet. And he hasn't, you're right.
It's always the comeback.
What's he won? Hasn't won a Super Bowl, has he? He's won a lot of AFC East titles. But I think the narrative about McDermott and like he's going to blow games and all that, I think he's a different coach now than when he started. I think the maturation process for Sean McDermott it's been very good.
Yeah.
You know, like the 13-second game, you know, that's behind the Bills now. So,
we talk about the Lions this year, like, okay, this might be the year that they need to win because they're about to lose some of their coordinators.
Yeah.
Maybe, depending on what they want to do. If they don't see a viable option in the head coaching market, maybe they don't want to go there. What about the Bills, though? Because their offensive coordinator has found something real nice with Josh Allen, and his name's been floated out there. Joe Brady. Josh Allen was even talking about him and was like, no, I don't think so.
We don't know, though.
Well, maybe it's a distant cousin. But like Josh Allen was like, no, he hasn't helped at all. Like being
coy,
or joking about it. But like Joe Brady has done a great job with Josh Allen.
Yeah, yes. Joe Brady was the passing game coordinator for LSU when they won with Joe Burrow. Like that whole game where Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase, that loaded LSU team. So he went to Carolina. I think he got a bad shake there. He got an unfair deal with the Panthers. They released him, then eventually found his way to Buffalo. The Saints could be interested in him.
So could this also be a year that the Buffalo Bills need to win?
Yeah, maybe.
Otherwise, they might lose their OC.
That could be. Whoever winds up taking over, though, they will have Josh Allen, which is nice. But to your point, Ken Dorsey couldn't make it happen. All right, let's see. Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. We've got a new Gauntlet contestant. Will they take on Jamie, Marsh, or me? Next, we'll find out here on 101 ESPN.
Pure Performance, your one-stop shop for all aftermarket modifications. If you're driving around right now in any vehicle for that matter, Jeep, Bronco, pickup truck, SUV, heck, even a minivan, you can stop by Pure Performance and find accessories for everything. They've got a 25,000 square foot facility that houses all of their toys for their vehicles in there. All you got to do is walk in and ask for Shelby or Caleb. Tell them that Jamie Rivers sent you in. They love hearing that. They're going to ask you what you're looking to do, and certainly they're going to ask what your budget is, and then they're going to get you the most that they can for your budget. And right now, we're driving around. It's a little slick. Perfect time to check your tires. Make sure you've got good tires on your vehicle. If not, head into Pure Performance. They don't only have the large, oversized off-road tires. They also carry any tire, make, model, for no matter what it is, they've got you covered. So please get in there and make sure you're driving around safely. And all that's over at Pure Performance. Visit them online as well. You see all of their amazing options right there at pureperformance.com. That's pure, P-U-R, performance.com.
Warriors. 4 categories, 1 challenger. Can you survive the Gauntlet?
Brought to you by Blue Note Roofing. Roofing, siding, and gutters. Visit BlueNoteRoofingSTL.com for a free inspection.
4:02, your time check brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. Jamie Rivers, Andrew Marsham, Anthony Stalter. Time for the Gauntlet, and we have Alex on the line. What's up, Alex?
Hey, how you guys doing?
Good, man. Happy Friday. Thanks for listening. Thanks for playing today.
I'm excited.
All right. I'm excited. Alex, your choices are Marsh, Jamie, or me. Who would you like to take on today?
Well, it's hard because if I take Jamie and get hockey, I'm going to get smoked. If I take Marsh and I win, I'm not a nice guy.
True. Very true.
And and Anthony's well-versed in everything, I guess I'll go with Jamie and hope it's not hockey.
Okay, all right. Jamie, I feel like Jamie, you haven't played in a while.
It's been a while. Where's Carey when you need him? All right, good luck, man.
Thank you. You too.
All right, so Jamie's going to make his way into the Going to Silence. Alex, you're going to tell Marsh to spin that wheel.
Marshy, spin that wheel.
Oh, nice. I like the added flavor on that. All right, so we know you don't want hockey. Is there a sport that you do want?
I mean, if I tell the wheel, it won't listen. So I'll say basketball.
You are a veteran.
And as a veteran, he knows that he got hockey.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Let me see that. Let me see that wheel. Marsh, I trust you, but it's hockey. I'm sorry, Alex.
Yeah, maybe Jamie will just hit his head in the cone of silence and he'll forget everything he knows.
Here's the thing.
He did break his glasses yesterday.
He did, yeah. He's
maybe
blind as a bat.
You never know.
There we go.
Sometimes he gets thrown off by certain years and stuff, so we'll see. All right, Alex, as you know, you're going to get 4 hockey-related questions Each question is worth 2 points. If you ask for the options, those questions become worth 1 point. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Question 1. Who was the first defenseman in NHL history to score 100 points in a season? Who was the first defenseman in NHL history to score 100 points in a season?
I'll take the options.
Ray Bourque, Paul Coffey, Bobby Orr.
I'm sure Orr did it. Question is, was he first? My wife loves coffee, so let's go with the coffee.
All right.
Question number 2. Who was the first goalie in NHL history to score a goal in a game? Here's a little note for you. This does not include Billy Smith's goal, as he was credited with an own goal by the Colorado Rockies. Not the baseball team, but the former NHL team.
Wow.
So,
well, that was going to be my answer.
So the first goalie in NHL history to score a goal in a game.
Let's go with the options again.
Options are Patrick Waugh, Ron Hextall, or Martin Brodeur.
Let's go with Patrick Waugh.
Final answer?
Final answer.
All right, Alex, question 3. Who is the NHL's all-time leader in penalty minutes? Who is the NHL's all-time leader in penalty minutes?
I mean, Jamie's probably up there. Let's go with the options again.
Craig Berube, Dave Tiger Williams, or Ty Domi?
I feel like if it was Berube, that'd be something I would have heard a little bit more about when he was coaching here. Let's go with my namesake and take Williams.
Okay.
Final answer.
Final question for you. What teams played in the NHL's first ever Winter Classic outdoor game?
Probably a Canadian team, but there's a lot of those, so let's take the options.
Options are the Red Wings and the Maple Leafs, the Penguins and the Sabres, or the Blackhawks and the Bruins.
Let's go with the first one, the one that had the Maple Leafs.
Red Wings and Maple Leafs. Final answer?
Final answer.
All right, let's bring back Jamie from the Cone of Silence. Alex, how you feeling?
Really wishing it wasn't hockey.
Yeah. Sorry about that, pal. Jamie is back from the Cone of Silence right now.
Yeah.
Jamie, how was it in there?
Well, very uneventful. There's I think we're the only 3 people in the building to begin with. All the lights are off. It was lonely.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, man.
It's okay. I knew I was coming back in here for you guys.
All the lights are off in the hallway. That's
it's dark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like nobody told us the whole, all 5 stations are no longer exist, and we're just doing free radio right now.
I think we could do pretty much anything we want right now.
Within reason. Yeah, there are cameras here, so.
Good point.
Well,
Thank you for the reminder.
But I know where they are.
I may have to go and
I
find
got you.
that.
Okay.
There's cameras here?
Mm-hmm. Especially around the prize closet, and I know you like to sniff around there, Marsh.
Whoa! Whoa!
Wow! That's a serious accusation.
I don't even know where that closet is, Anthony.
Oh, it's right across from our
small office?
small office.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We have an office?
Jamie, your category today is hockey.
No.
Yeah.
Alex didn't want hockey.
Alex didn't want hockey.
The wheel knows.
The wheel knows. So.
All right, let's go, baby.
I hope you packed a small snack. Here we go.
Okay.
Who was the first defenseman in NHL history to score 100 points in a season?
That would be Robert Orr, better known as Bobby Orr. Number 4 for the Boston Bruins. Final answer.
Just needed a name.
I'm having some fun, Anthony. Sorry you don't like to have fun.
You know what? I'm just doing what you typically do to me.
Question number 2.
Squash my enthusiasm.
Good point.
Who was the first goalie in NHL history to score a goal in a game? Here's a little note for you, Jamie. This does not include Billy Smith's goal, as he was credited with an own goal by the Colorado Rockies.
Okay, I was going to ask you that flat out. I was going to say, wait, scoring a goal or credited with a goal? But you clarified that for me. Therefore, my next statement is going to be Ron Hextall for the Philadelphia Flyers against the Boston Bruins.
Oh, look at you. Question 3, Jamie. Who is the NHL's all-time leader in penalty minutes?
One of the ugliest human beings ever. Face like a catcher's mitt. Dave Tiger Williams. You should Google that guy sometime. He's funny.
Break my computer screen.
Final answer. He's, just do it. You'll have fun.
All right.
Heart of the Hide.
What'd you call us?
What?
Heart of the Hide?
Yeah, he said it looks like a catcher's mitt.
Oh.
The Heart of the Hide is like it's a glove.
Okay.
Is it?
I prefer Rawlings.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a Rawlings
St.
guy.
Louis base,
Yeah.
Rawlings?
Yeah.
All day, every day.
Question number 4. What teams played in the NHL's first ever Winter Classic outdoor game?
Ooh, that was a gem, too. Sidney Crosby, shootout winner. Pittsburgh, Buffalo. Final answer.
Okay. All right, let's go over these today.
Okay.
Spirited debate between Alex and Jamie Rivers in hockey. Why don't we just go ahead and go top down here? Question 1. Who was the first defenseman in NHL history to score 100 points in a season? Alex, you took the options. You went Paul Coffey. Jamie, you did not take the options. You gave us a whole bunch of information we didn't need it, but eventually you said Bobby Orr. Final answer. Correct answer is Bobby Orr. 2-0 Jamie. Who was the first goalie in NHL history to score a goal in a game? And note, this does not include Billy Smith's goal, as he was credited with an own goal by the Colorado Rockies. Alex, you went with you took the options. You went with Patrick Waugh. Jamie, you did not take the options. You said Ron Hextall.
Mm-hmm.
Correct answer is
Ron Hextall.
Jamie up 4-0. Who is the NHL's all-time leader in penalty minutes? Alex, you took the options, and you went with Dave Tiger Williams. Jamie, you did not take the options. You said the same thing. Correct answer is?
It is Dave Tiger Williams.
Jamie up now 6-1. What teams played in the NHL's first ever Winter Classic outdoor game? Alex, you took the options. You said probably a Canadian team. Give me the Red Wings and Maple Leafs. Jamie, you said Penguins and Sabres. Correct answer is?
It's the Penguins and the Sabres.
Alex.
You have chosen poorly.
You lose. Not today.
Alex, I'm sorry, man. You kind of forecasted it with taking Jamie and not wanting hockey. Then you got hockey. Then you're like, oh, no. 8-1 today. 8-1, buddy. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I feel like Brad Thompson and he's Russell Branyan.
Yeah,
wow. BT getting a ricochet today.
Somewhere BT felt that.
Yeah.
But you know what? We appreciate you listening, man. You're, I'll tell you what, you're a nice guy. I'm sure Marsh would have beat you, too.
Probably. So, all right, it was fun, guys.
All right, thanks,
Have a great
Alex.
weekend,
Have a great weekend.
Thanks, Alex.
You too.
Boy, you left nothing there.
Jeez, Jamie.
I mean, nothing left of Alex on that.
Those questions were in my wheelhouse. What do you want me to do?
Clearly.
You want me to fake it? We don't do that in the fast lane.
No,
we don't take it easy on people. They know they don't want us to.
No, you're right.
Because then when they win, it's a legit win.
You're right. Yeah.
By the way, while you guys were acting like goofballs, Heart of the Hide is a Rawlings baseball glove.
Yeah, but it doesn't say Rawlings.
Yeah.
No, it does.
Well, that's what. Yeah,
it's Rawlings, and then Heart of the Hide is his little bull.
Yeah, that's what we told you.
Right in the mitt.
That's kind of what we said. We said it's Rawlings.
It's Rawlings.
Oh,
we
okay,
prefer
maybe.
St. Louis-based
We said
company.
we prefer Rawlings.
Yeah.
Misremembered.
Yeah.
What do you like your catcher's mitt to look like? Like what's your style, colors? Like what do you want your catcher's mitt to look like?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I've
do you like a nice fresh catcher's mitt?
Yeah.
Or do you like a beat up catcher's mitt that has been pounded a lot?
Yeah. Let me get the fresh one, and I'll do the pounding of the mitt.
Yeah, likewise.
Yeah.
I feel the same way, Anthony.
Put
Andrew?
a rubber band. Like putting a rubber
No,
band
I don't
around
use the
it.
rubber. No, that's no good. You're better off to use a lace. That way it doesn't damage anything.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, great job, Jamie. 8-1. Here's 2 extra points for you. You guys both answered this question.
Oh.
Do you know who the sponsor was of the first ever Winter Classic? We now know it's Discover, but do you know who sponsored the first Winter Classic?
It was none other than.
Was it Enterprise? No.
Can we have a hint, please?
Think energy drink.
Monster.
No.
Red Bull?
Red Bull gives you wings.
No.
Another energy drink. Rockstar?
No, sir.
I don't know. I mean, there's a ton out there. Don't get me wrong, but
Rooster Booster. I know it's not that. I think Marshy's making it up at this point.
I'm not.
Mountain Dew Code Red.
Nope.
Okay.
Amp Energy.
Amp.
What? The energy drink.
Amp Energy drink.
Wow.
Really?
Amp.
Wow.
I don't know if that thing's around anymore.
I don't think it is.
That's weird.
You're on the same wavelength though with Mountain Dew because I believe it's part of the same
family.
I believe so.
MD 2020 in the Snake Pit said Sunny D.
No.
Screw you. There's a callback there.
Yeah,
from Marshy.
like a 2-year callback.
Yeah. All right, Dylan Holloway. This guy's an absolute stud, but is he on the same level for the Blues as some of their other top players? It's next on 101 ESPN.
I'm really impressed with how hard he plays. Like, he just wants the puck, and how he got hit hard twice tonight. He just gets up and continues to play. You love to see a guy that's never deterred, that always wants the puck and always is looking to push forward.
So that was Jim Montgomery talking about Dylan Holloway, my guy who Carey has decided to basically use him in every light the lamp game, including last night.
Yeah, who hit? You hit too last night.
I did. Yep. I'm just going to keep
Good
chipping
thing
away.
I had Thomas.
Almost.
No, you didn't.
I thought you were going to go with Thomas. When you started saying that, you like started a certain way. And I'm like, oh, he's going to take Robert Thomas.
I went with Saad. 900th game. And he had a good game.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he came close to scoring.
Your guy got a point.
So did Saad. I think he had two assists last night.
I think he had 2 helpers. Yeah.
2 helpers.
But Carey got a point.
Hamburger helper.
Or Carey got 2 points, right? Because Holloway.
It's so good. So good.
Grew up on
It
that
is
stuff.
good.
Oh, man. People who don't like hamburger helper, I've got to wonder.
There's tuna helper, too. That stuff's pretty good, too.
Yeah.
No? All right. Beef stroganoff. Oh, don't look at me. Don't give me those eyes.
Anyways, Holloway's worth 2 points, right?
Yeah.
So Carey just collects another dose. All right.
Yeah.
I blame you, Anthony, actually.
Why?
If you weren't so hell-bent on picking him, Carey would never pick him.
He did it to spite you. And now he's not relinquishing it.
Because that's you were doing that to him and Bet the Board, where you were trying to, mess with him, and then he'd mess with you. Same thing with the Pick'em Challenge.
Okay,
you guys have a rivalry going on.
Here's the thing. I wasn't trying to get, under CD's skin when it came to Bet the Board. I was just picking games that he wanted. And I just kindly reminded him that he needed to be in front of me for Bet the Board. And he was not. You know what I mean? Now he's in first place. So he could take all the Steph Curry or Seth Curry points, rebounds, and assists he wants.
Seth Curry.
We did that one night. We're like, do you want Steph or Seth?
Seth had a better game that
He
night.
did.
Oh,
Steph
man.
Curry. Anyways, back to Dylan Holloway. Third on the team in points, 15 goals, 17 assists. And when you look at Holloway, do you consider him a core piece already, just like you do with Thomas, Kyrou, and Buchnevich?
Oh, yeah. He's emerged as one of the top forwards on your team.
And wasn't he kind of like the consolation prize in that deal? I don't want to slight him at all.
No,
but
I know. I think I'm not inside Doug Armstrong's brain, but I think the thought was we're going to go and acquire a top defenseman. Now, how can we also make sure we get that defenseman? Let's find another young forward that we can pump up an offer sheet so that Edmonton will have to pick between one of them. And they'll probably only have money for Holloway. Thus, Broberg would be a blue. The Oilers said, screw you. You can have them both.
We'll show you.
Yeah. And Holloway has gone on to prove that, he is a really good player. Yeah. Like, honestly, watching him up close here the last little bit, and especially watching him last night, he's a lot bigger than people think because he skates with that wide gait, that wide stride. So he looks a little smaller, but he's obviously super sturdy on his skates. But I think he's like maybe an inch taller than me. Like, I'm not huge by any means, but like 6'1". And I think he's a big kid. I think he's probably like 210, 215. Like, he's built too. And then he flies around. He's got this skill. Like Monty said, he's hard to get off the puck, too. Like, he gets in the zone. He's got so much speed you can't catch him. Then he just holds the puck out, and he glides as he's still skating by everybody until a better play happens.
He's fun to watch.
He's fun to watch. He's just scratching the surface. He's got 32 points in 43 games. This kid could be a point-a-game player moving forward. He could be an 80 to 90-point player for the Blues team for a long time here. 15 goals already. He's absolutely going to be a 20-goal scorer on this team. And the way he's playing, he could be a perennial 20-goal scorer. And let's just remember that, the power play hasn't really made a lot of noise this year. starting to get some opportunity to score some goals. Holloway's going to be a big part of that too. Yeah. So he's going to get bonus goals. He'll get 5 or 6 bonus goals a year by being on the power play. So I love what he is as a player. And last night, just subtle things like Jordan Kyrou comes in on his goal, and he comes in on his offside, and Dylan Holloway busts as hard as he can through the middle ice and kind of takes the defenseman's stick at the same time, draws the coverage in, opens up that spot for Kyrou, who then goes by and scores a goal. Mm-hmm. Like, he's doing dirty work. There's no credit for that. There's no assist. There's no point. Yeah. But without that play, you probably don't score the goal. So he's also a player that recognizes how to play the game the right way. And that's what impresses me.
He's been fun to watch, and I just love however it went down. I think about what Doug Armstrong did in acquiring Kasperi Kapanen and acquiring, who's the kid they got from?
Verana. Yeah.
So they get Verana and they get Kapanen.
Yep.
Those are two guys that you really needed lightning in the bottle, right? Like that's where the Blues were. They were trading off the last remaining, bigger contracts that they had, and we're moving forward here. We're transitioning. But in order to transition, you weren't going to bring up a lot of their young guys that weren't ready to play. So you found two guys that really the ceiling was high, but so was the floor was really low with those two guys.
Oh yeah,
like that could have been it. Whatever. I liked those moves, but acquiring Broberg and Holloway was essentially acquiring two guys that were ready to bust out.
Yeah.
That were already, it's like
2
Bo
first-round
Nix,
picks, by the way.
Yeah, Bo Nix, prepackaged, ready to go, ready to step in because he played all those those games in college. Mm-hmm. There was, in other words, there wasn't a ton of development that needed to happen. They were ready to go. They just needed more of an opportunity. So he being Doug Armstrong, he fast-tracked his retool with 2 moves, 2 savvy moves, and it took Edmonton not either knowing what they had and not paying up for it, or not knowing what they had. Either way, the Blues benefit because Doug Armstrong once again picked the pocket of a team.
Yeah, and let's just dive into this a little bit here. The Edmonton Oilers are still a really good team. They're in second place in the Pacific Division, 53 points in 41 games, right. Plus 21 goal differential. The problem for Edmonton is not this year. The problem is next year and the year after, when all these guys either too old or contracts expire. You don't have Dylan Holloway. You don't have Philip Broberg. So they're going to be hurting. They were in a win-now situation, and they thought that moving on from these 2 young guys was their only move. What Army did, like you said, he picked up 2 first-round picks that were already developed.
Yeah.
And guess what else? They'd already played in a Stanley Cup final. Mm. So you have guys on the Blues that have won the Stanley Cup. These guys didn't win the Stanley Cup, but they went right to Game 7, losing by a goal in the Stanley Cup final. So they've experienced what that ride is, what it takes to get there. That's invaluable information for a young player to have. Now, you acquired them, so they bring that valuable information to this team, and it's not like a Zach Bolduc isn't necessarily going to go and talk to Braden Shen about winning the Cup. How was it? What'd you go through? Because Braden Shen was older.
Right.
So he's going to describe his experience as different. Well, Bolduc now, he's sitting around playing video games or having a beer, whatever it is. Dylan Holloway, you can talk to him about him. So what was it like, man? What was it like playing with McDavid? What's Draisaitl like? And they can pass on all this information, and then all of a sudden now Zach Bolduc has an idea what to expect or how the best players in the world operate on a daily basis. Mm-hmm. It's instant credibility to your roster by bringing these 2 young, really good players on board.
No doubt.
It's an amazing move. To me, it's the move of the year in the NHL, and it was made by Doug Armstrong, especially with the amount of time that Broberg's playing and what he's doing, and now with what Holloway's producing. To me, there's not another deal that's even close.
That's Jamie Rivers. I'm Anthony Stalter. The Fast Line on 101 ESPN. The Cotton Bowl is tonight. Texas versus Ohio State. Do we see another instant classic like last night in a much different way? That's next on 101 ESPN.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. Your St. Louis Blues won over the Anaheim Ducks last night, 6-2, the final. 4 goals in the first period. It was a fun one at the Enterprise Center last night. They'll take on the Columbus Blue Jackets tomorrow. Pregame starts at 5. Puck drop is at 6. If you've missed anything from today's show, including our interview with Blues insider from The Athletic, Jeremy Rutherford, make sure you go to 101ESPN.com or check out the free Dobbs Tire and Auto Center's 101 ESPN mobile app. Just head to the podcast page and you'll find all of our interviews and full shows there. And it's all brought to you by the Schaefer Door Company. Notre Dame defeated Penn State last night in the Orange Bowl. They will head to the national championship. Tonight, we have the Cotton Bowl. The winner will take on Notre Dame. It's between Texas and Ohio State, and we're going to break that one down next right here in the Fast Lane. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. See them at londoff.com. Chevy, together we drive. Are you kidding me?
We've got the Cotton Bowl for you. Pregame starting at 6 o'clock. Kickoff at 6:30 between Texas and Ohio State. The winner will take on Notre Dame in the national championship. I think that this one, and anytime you think, oh, well, it's going to be a fun shootout, it rarely is, but I don't.
What kind of attitude is that?
A good one? Practical? Humble. It's a humble take.
I don't think it's humble.
Oh.
Pretty negative.
I think tonight's going to be a fun back and forth shootout type game, boys.
There you go.
It's at Jerry's
smiling.
World.
Yeah. Son of a gun, you.
Puff my chest out right here.
Yeah.
It's at Jerry's World. Ohio State, since the loss to Michigan, Jamie, has decided they're going to take everybody behind the woodshed.
Yep.
And it doesn't really matter. Opponents, media members, fans, they don't care. Come on behind the woodshed, and we're going to eviscerate you.
Think that's their motto?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I really like what Chip Kelly has done with this offense. I thought Chip Kelly in that Michigan game, okay, so here's the good and the bad, right? Michigan has the defensive linemen to stop that inside zone run that Chip Kelly loves to run. And he stuck with it. And he probably stuck with it too long, and it wound up costing Ohio State points. They still could have won that game. They missed a couple of field goals, but ultimately they still could have won that game. Since that point, though, Chip Kelly has said, you know what? I've got like 3 NFL wide receivers. Might as well get them involved as well. What's interesting about tonight's game against Texas, Jamie, is that Texas also has the defensive linemen to slow down that inside run. So did Chip Kelly learn anything from the Michigan game to take into tonight? If he did, and he doesn't get stubborn like he was against Michigan, then I think I think Ohio State probably hangs 30 on the board. Now, it won't be easy because Texas's defense is legit. But the way that Ohio State is playing offensively, I think Ohio State could score 30 or so. If Chip Kelly decides, I want to run the ball, we want to be physical, all that nonsense, then I think we get a repeat of the Michigan game, and Texas winds up pulling off the upset. But I just can't see it. I just don't see it happening. Plus, I don't trust Quinn Ewers.
Yeah, but I see a world where if Quinn Ewers is not great, they'll go to Manning.
They should.
Like after the first quarter, if it's not clicking, I could see this. Like this game's too big to worry about feelings and crap like that. I mean, you're moving on from Quinn Ewers anyways. Following this year is my take.
There's talk he might go to Notre Dame.
Yeah, that's my take.
Replace Riley Leonard.
So who cares about his feelings? I don't mean that in a mean way, but you got a football game to win.
Right.
I think Texas has it in them, man. I just do. And the reason I do is because of the Michigan game. It's like, okay, so you've shown the world that you can be beat by a very average team.
Mm-hmm.
Good defensive team, good inside defensive lineman, all that stuff. Yeah, okay, great.
It's good to be a Michigan Wolverine.
It is. Yeah. But either way, Texas, their team is much better, much deeper overall. Offensive side, defensive side, are well coached. I just think the upset is there to be had. I feel like Ohio State.
Are you calling it?
I'm calling an upset.
All right, I like it. I like the.
I don't know how much Ohio State can deal with adversity, too. Starting with their head coach, he's kind of a crybaby. You know, like once things start to go bad, it's like he's huffing and puffing and he's like throwing a tantrum on the sideline because they're down by 7 or down by 10. Like, your team feeds off of that crap.
They're front runners.
Yeah. So if Texas gets on the board, let's say they're up 7-0, 10-3 after the first quarter. Like, I could see things start to fall apart a little bit. A little panic. Is this going to be like the Michigan game? What are they doing? Let's change this up. Let's change that up. And then all of a sudden they become their worst enemy.
Yeah.
So, I'm calling it. I'm calling the upset tonight.
I don't... If Arch Manning winds up getting into this game and they stick with him, I could see a much different Texas offense. If they stick with Quinn Ewers, I see this offense getting stuck in the mud. Because the other side of this, too, that nobody talks about, Ohio State is one of the best defenses in the nation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they stopped Oregon for that first half. Like,
Oregon had nothing.
They had nothing going defensively.
Ohio State.
Or offensively.
All three levels. Some of the best players in the nation. I mean, there's going to be 7 guys in the NFL off that defense. And you're right, Marsh. Oregon, they try to get sideways. You can't go sideways on this Ohio State team. You have to go through them. And if Texas doesn't have a game plan to be physical, then I think this could be a long night.
I know Texas won that game against Arizona State, but I didn't think they did anything special. I thought their best plays were in overtime.
Yeah.
I didn't think they did anything special during the regulation. Yeah.
I think their offense gets stuck. They often get bailed out by their defense. I mean, if you think about, they lost the 2 Georgia games. And really it was their defense wilting in the fourth quarter finally after being on the damn field all game that Georgia allowed Georgia to win those games. Your defense, you're going to have to, if you get dragged into a shootout, you got to be special offensively. And I just don't know if Texas is going to be special enough offensively tonight against this defense.
Jamie thinks I
do.
Yeah. I like the huevos rancheros that Jamie is showing on this Texas.
And you know what?
I just think he's got the wrong Texas team to pull off the upset.
Well, he might be thinking of that Texas team with Vince Young, who had to take down Ohio State early on in that season, that 2005 campaign leading into the 2006 national championship game against USC. They took down Ohio State earlier in that year. So maybe that's the team he's thinking of. Not this team.
You'll see.
Not this installment.
You'll see.
Is there a matchup that's better, Texas Notre Dame or Ohio State Notre Dame?
I don't know about that.
I'd like to see Ohio State go up against that defense for Notre Dame.
Ohio State Notre Dame.
What is with you and Ohio State?
I don't know. I don't like Ohio State at all.
I know, but that's why I'm confused.
Quite frankly, I hate them.
I don't like Ohio State either.
All you've been doing is pounding the drum on
I know.
Ohio State for like 2 weeks now.
I know. What's wrong
disgusting.
with me? I'm with you.
I
like Texas.
I'm just confused.
I do too.
I like their uniforms.
I was a huge Texas fan growing up.
Sark.
Now, you do know that there's a difference, right? Bevo, the mascot, is allowed to be at this game.
Is he? Because it's in Texas or something?
Yeah. Wasn't allowed at the game against Georgia.
Well, Bevo almost killed the Georgia Bulldog.
But you know what? I like that. It was sending a message. I didn't want him to kill the dog, but he scared the hell out of him.
Well, usually we get mascot fights, but, there's... Never mind. They're mascots, right? They're entities.
Well, there's mascots. Yeah, they're mascots.
But these are animals. Like, these animals were going at it.
Well, they're still...
And it set the tone for that SEC championship game.
That dog's eyes got massive when Bevo came in with those long horns.
Yeah.
Everybody kind of panicked.
I mean, it's a bulldog versus a longhorn. That's tough.
You know what,
That's tough for the old bulldog.
Bevo, gotta get inside, do damage.
Bevo way bigger than a Buckeye. You better not swallow those Buckeyes. You die.
Yeah, they're poisonous, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So could be a little, just a little hint at what could be tonight on the field.
I did not see the mascot you doing kind of the mascot challenge here. I did not have that on my bingo card as we decided to take a deep dive into this Cotton Bowl.
Sometimes you should go with just, hey, what team's got a better mascot? Because, we've been struggling in the Pick'em Challenge, and I'm almost to that point where I might just start looking at the mascots because it works for some people.
If I may.
Yeah.
I think you would have been better off just taking your damn team each and every week.
That's fair.
14 points you left on the table.
Yeah,
roughly.
because... Well, no, I picked them a few times. Like I wasn't going to pick the Giants or the Jaguars.
Did you take the Falcons? You did. You took the Falcons that
Absolutely.
day. Oh man, you left at least 11 points on the table.
I'm the reason why we're losing. But I also am the one that has the cul-de-sac on the line. So,
did you hear about that?
I did.
Yeah. Well, maybe I'll pull a Jamie and won't do it.
Well, but you actually agreed to this bet. He actually agreed to this bet.
He laid it out.
Yeah.
We didn't even say anything.
No, I did it myself.
He just personally said, "I'll do the cul-de-sac."
Yeah, I didn't even know I was
lose.
part of anything.
You did. We just forced it upon you.
But I didn't know until you told me.
Well, somebody had recommended. Hey, our text line and our snake pit, always right. And they suggested that if the Vikings and Falcons tied that year, last season, and in the win column, that you do the waffle challenge. And that's what they did. They tied.
I treat this body like a temple.
We've got 0.0 waffles out of you.
It's not true. I've had a few waffles.
Well, then.
Not documented.
It's got to be in the studio.
It's not very appealing to eat in here.
All day. No, I wouldn't eat it all in here.
Not a chance.
Yeah. All right, it's Fastline on 101 ESPN. I don't think this place ever been cleaned, this studio. You walk into the points, it's like...
Oh, yeah, you can smell the air fresh. It's like a casino in Las Vegas. They're pumping in great smell.
Yep.
All this stuff. You walk into this one, it's like...
This is like, I immediately have a sore throat every time I walk in.
Yeah.
It's like an armpit in here.
Asbestos or something going on there.
It's like a giant fart.
Just...
Yeah. That you're tired of smelling.
Okay, NFL Wildcard Entrance Survey. Packers, Eagles. Who's the hero? Who's the GOAT? What's our prediction? That's all next on 101 ESPN. Andrew Marsh and Jamie Rivers. I'm Anthony Stalter. It's Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. We continue our NFL entrance survey for the Wild Card Weekend games. We've got Eagles-Packers kickoff at 3:30 right here on 101 ESPN on Sunday. The biggest determining factor for you guys, Eagles-Packers. Jamie?
Oh, wow. Eagles-Packers. Well, one, is Jordan Love going to be healthy? Banged up his elbow in that last game of the season, and everything seems to be, like, okay. Word out of Green Bay has been silent, which one would think that that's good news.
Yeah.
But
he should play.
Yeah, he'll play, but will he be 100%?
Yeah, because his hand was impacted by that.
It was all, like, jacked up there. So
it was all jacked up on Mountain Dew.
Yeah, and the flip side of that is Jalen Hurts coming off of a concussion.
Yep.
What kind of shape will he be in? So I don't know. To me, the storyline for me is which quarterback plays their game the best. Like, which one finds their game the quickest and is more consistent.
Sure.
That's the storyline for me.
Marsh?
Mine is Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts. He's also coming off of an injury, concussion. Sometimes Jalen Hurts can have games where he doesn't look like a good quarterback. What? But for me, the key is protecting the football and then taking that football and then handing it to the guy that stands behind him or to the side of him. And that guy's name is Saquon Barkley. Give that guy the football, and that's it. He'll win the game.
Okay, fair enough. So you're saying the running game.
The running game.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at on this. And actually, it's running game and defense. I think that'll be the determining factor. I do not see... So when these two teams played in week one, it was the game in Mexico, and the field was...
Yeah, it was a mess.
It was a mess, right? Like, it was rough. It was rough conditions.
The pitch?
The pitch was not good.
I'm not sure what it was.
Right. It was wound up being a shootout. I do not see this game being a shootout. Since about week 8 or so, second half of the season, the Eagles have been the best defense statistically in the league. They've been outstanding. The Packers, defensively, have been excellent as well. Now, there's been some slip-ups. When you face the Lions, you're going to give up a bunch of points and all that. But, overall, the Packers defensively have been pretty good. But I think that this game really comes down to whether or not the Packers rediscover who they are offensively. Because I think something seems off with them offensively. Christian Watson's now hurt, so the vertical game isn't there. Love, like you said, a little banged up.
Yep.
Josh Jacobs should be the focal point of this offensive game plan for the Packers. And the Eagles can be had on the ground. As good as they have been defensively, they can be had on the ground. I think they gave up 100-something yards to Chuba Hubbard. They gave up 100-something yards to, I think, Rico Dowdle in one of the games. Like, they can be had on the ground. But if the Packers can't reestablish their rhythm offensively, then I think this is going to be a long game in Philly. So to me, it's about the defense, the ground game, who establishes which ground game first, and takes the pressure off their quarterback.
What are your feelings towards each team's defense?
I think the Eagles have formed. Vic Fangio was there at the start of the year. Rough first month of the season. It was terrible. It's like, has Vic Fangio lost his fastball? He likes to mix up his coverages a lot. He likes to get into a game and say, hey, in the first quarter, we may run a lot of cover 4. In the second quarter, we might run a lot of match zone. In the third quarter, we may go almost exclusively man. And he wants to have that ability. The Eagles couldn't grasp it early on. Now they can. Now they're playing some of the best defense in the league. Packers, I think, are sound as well.
Yeah.
Can they slow down Saquon Barkley? Because if they can slow down Saquon Barkley, this Eagles passing game has been a big problem.
So let me ask you that, following up on that. If for some reason they're able to keep Saquon Barkley to like between 40 and 50 yards rushing on the day, what does that do?
Then they win.
What?
Then they win.
The Eagles?
The Packers.
The Packers. Okay, that's what I was going to ask.
Yep.
Okay.
I mean, if you tell me the Packers are going to hold Saquon Barkley to 50 or less rushing yards, then I'll say, the Packers won that game.
All right.
Because I don't think Jalen Hurts in that passing game, especially with him missing the last couple of weeks, they weren't firing on all cylinders before he got hurt. So I don't see it. The one good thing, though, if you're the Eagles, is you have all your guys now. Dallas Goedert's back. A.J. Brown is healthy. Devonta Smith is healthy. Like, you got all your dudes. Now Jalen Hurts is back. But, all right, your hero.
Well, Saquon Barkley.
Saquon Barkley, I'll say aye.
Aye.
All right. What a stud.
He's so good.
As great of as a pickup as Derrick Henry was for the Ravens, there was no better. There's no single greatest free agent addition than the Eagles had in Saquon Barkley. He has transformed that offense.
Can you imagine having a guy like Saquon Barkley and then just letting him walk?
Well, you don't do that. The Eagles drafted him high for a reason, and they signed him to that big deal for a reason.
Yeah, I agree.
Mm-hmm.
No, Anthony, I don't think that's what happened.
What do you mean?
I don't think that's how it played out. Now, this could be a Mandela effect type thing going on right now, but I don't remember him being drafted by the Eagles.
Yeah, he was the second overall pick by that NFC East team.
Oh, a different NFC East team. Blue team, actually.
Don't know, the Eagles
Cowboys
were
have
green.
never had him. They took
not the
Ezekiel Elliott.
Cowboys. No. The Giants.
Wait, what?
They had that guy.
The
Did you know that?
Giants had Saquon Barkley?
Yeah.
And they let him go?
They did.
When they had a bad quarterback and they had a great running back that can help a bad quarterback, they let him go?
Mm-hmm. Guess what? They don't even have that quarterback anymore.
No.
Man,
Has anything aged
they must
well?
be really good if they let him walk.
I'm going to be really sick. I'm going to be real sick if we don't get Saquon Barkley back.
Has anything aged well from that Hard Knocks?
Oh, no.
Nothing.
Like, inside that specific scene, has anything aged well that he said?
No.
That Joe Sheehan said?
That entire
What a mess.
season of Hard Knocks. The preseason. Or not even preseason. It was the offseason. First one ever, by the way, for offseason. Wow. None of that aged well.
No.
None of it.
If you're another team, if you're a GM on another team, you will never want to do that.
No.
Like, to hell, I no thank you. I don't want you to have cameras in on my off season, just in case I fast lane it up like Joe Sheehan did.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm saying things like, we didn't pay, Daniel Jones that amount of money to hand the ball off to Saquon Barkley. That's where we're going to let him go. Or my son saying, hey, you should draft, right? One of the top quarterbacks. Nah, no thank you.
Well, they couldn't either way. But
Well,
They could have.
I mean, they could have traded up.
they could have.
I mean, right now they don't even have
Commander's
a quarterback.
probably
So
not.
any
They
quarterback.
have Drew Lock.
Oh, yeah.
He had a good
And Malik
game.
Neighbors is a stud.
He is.
He's just not a quarterback. That's the problem.
Can't throw to himself.
Can't throw to himself. He tried.
It's in play.
The GOAT. The bad GOAT. The bad version of the GOAT. Eagles, Packers.
Me, it's going to be Eagles coaching. Sirianni's going to do something stupid. He's going to get all fired up.
Yeah.
In a win, he's going to do something stupid.
Yep.
Yeah. I like that.
Mine's Jordan Love. If he's throwing passes like he did early in the season, running, away in the end zone and looking like a terrible quarterback for a play, could be the difference maker.
I just can't see a bigger GOAT than Sirianni. Even in a dub.
Mm-hmm. It's just it's inevitable.
Could Jordan Love throw 2 picks? Sure. Could also throw 2 touchdowns. He could have an uneven type performance. Nick Sirianni, anytime we do this, will be the GOAT of any Eagles game.
Yeah,
for me.
Good point.
All right, prediction.
I got the Eagles. In Philadelphia, I got the Eagles.
I'm going with the Eagles as well. Close game. 22.
Oh, wow.
17.
I was going to say 23-17.
Look at you guys.
Wow.
I didn't even give a
Just
score.
because 22 is kind of an odd number in football, but I like it. What's your score then?
I would go with 27-14. Eagles.
27-14?
Yeah.
All right. That's a sizable difference.
Yeah, I think it will be that.
All right, fair enough. They yell at me. Cam Fowler.
I like it.
Cam Fowler. We're going to talk about the Blues defenseman next on 101 ESPN.
this defense has really turned it around since Cam Fowler came back. And I guess you have to go back to when Broberg got healthy and came back into the lineup. But it's just littered. The defense is just littered with veteran guys who make small, smart plays. And you can look at the goals against per 60 have gone down almost a goal per game since they got Cam Fowler. And there's just a trickle-down effect for me.
So it's Jeremy Rutherford who joined us earlier today. You can listen to that podcast after the show. Available at 101ESPN.com or on your 101 ESPN mobile app. All podcasts brought to you by Schaefer Door Company. So you talk about Cam Fowler, and yeah, the numbers are all there that, you know, the Blues from a goals against standpoint and all that stuff. I mean, Cam Fowler's been an excellent addition. My question to you guys is, Nick Leddy's been skating. So when Nick Leddy comes back, one, what does the blue line, what does it look like? Right,
well, it's blue. It goes from side to side on the ice. There's actually two of them.
Let me specify. What does the Blues' defensive pairings look like?
Oh, that's much different.
And where would you rank that group in the NHL once Leddy is back and healthy?
Yeah, so I said it earlier. I think that your top six end up being Fowler, Parayko, Broberg, Falk, Suter, Leddy. I mean, you've got 1, 2, 3 guys with over 1,000 games. Justin Falk is right close to 1,000 games, and Ryan Suter's close to 1,500 games.
Wow.
So you've got some experience. And I think that man for man, you probably have the most balanced defensive core in the league. Like JR said, like Cale Makar and Devon Toews in Colorado. It's a great pair. Top 2 defensemen. Quinn Hughes, great defenseman. You got some guys who are really great defensemen, but 6 guys where you can just blindly just open the door and go. Oh, McDavid's on the ice? I don't care. Like Mike Weber's job will get so fun for him because whoever he puts out there can play against anybody. Mm-hmm. And that's when you know you've got a really good thing. And if we dissect it here, Fowler has come in. He moves the puck extremely well. He defends very well. Plays on the power play, plays on your penalty kill, plays about 23 minutes a game. Colton Parayko, all of those things too, no power play time, but he's also one of the best shutdown defensemen in the NHL. Broberg turned into a really good shutdown defenseman, added a whole bunch of offense to his game to where he's sitting right now at 14 points. It's pretty good. Mm-hmm. It's a point every other game for Philip Broberg, and his size, his speed, his reach. Justin Falk is having a good season alongside Philip Broberg. Both of those guys can skate, too. Now, your third pair, you got Ryan Suter, he's going to be 40 years old here in February, I believe is what it is. But he still moves around pretty good. He's probably the least mobile of all the defensemen at that point, but still, it's not like he can't skate. He handles things just fine. And Nick Leddy, we know he skates well. So the fact that you've got aging guys on the blue line, okay, that's a bit of the story, but they can all skate. Mm-hmm. And that's half the battle in today's NHL. It used to be size. You need a burly dude back there that's going to just beat the crap out of people. Now it's, I need a defenseman that can skate because that's how you defend now with your legs. It used to be the physicality and the hooking and the holding and the cross-checking and all that stuff. It's not now. If you can't skate, you can't defend. And right now the Blues have 6 guys when Leddy comes back that can skate. Therefore, they can defend. And they're all able to join the offense as well. Telling you, if Nick Leddy gets back, and the sooner he gets back, I think you're going to see a massive uptick in this team. Like, you'll get those 3, 4, 5 wins in a row because you'll be able to defend so well that you won't have to worry about things. And the way you're scoring goals right now, at the clip in the last 4 or 5 games that you've been able to put points on the board, you're not going to lose games that way.
You know, we always talk about the tree trunks. Do you think the Blues have finally found those tree trunks, with this group that they have on the back end?
Yeah, so we go back to like the Vegas model, right? We go back to the 2019 Blues where they had those oak trees that we talked about, right? On the blue line. Big guys, they're in the way all the time, tough to get around them. Vegas copied that model, won a Stanley Cup. And yeah, in fact, the Tampa Bay Lightning also copied that model and won a couple of cups. They had some big-ass defensemen on their blue line, too. Yeah, this is it. Like, look at the size of Parayko, Broberg, alone are big guys, and the rest of them are like nobody's under 6'1", I believe. So if that's the case, like you got some bodies there, and Ryan Suter's the grumpiest out of all of them.
Right.
He clears the crease better than anybody else on the blue line. So I'm very optimistic as to what this can be with that kind of a defense core, and the forwards should also be very optimistic because all of the defensemen can move the puck. What's the forward's biggest pet peeve is having defensemen who can't pass the damn puck to them. Well, I'm a great player, but I can't get the puck. And you're reliant on the defenseman for breakout passes, transition passes, all that stuff. And if you can't get a good pass, you can't create offense.
I would have to assume being, a little bit older on the back end, there's a lot of outside noise, especially when Cam Fowler was traded here.
I couldn't believe that, by the way.
Oh, he's so old. Like, what is that?
What the hell's going on with the retool?
They're recreating the Cardinals starting rotation.
Yeah.
And there's just a lot of chatter. I feel like they take a lot of pride, though, in that dressing room, knowing that they are of the elder statesmen or whatever, but, they're all a part of that group. I feel like they take a lot of pride in doing their job and doing it at an effective level.
Well, who doesn't want to say blank you to all the haters? Right? First of all, I mean, of course you do. You want to prove everybody wrong. And I go back to Cam Fowler, and I said, man, that's an unbelievable addition. Like, he's old. He's terrible in Anaheim. I'm like, okay, we'll see.
That team, I don't know. I was watching the game last night. What could he do on that team?
Jacob Trouba. I think he wanted to be anywhere except on the ice last night. Watching this guy's mannerisms, his body language, and the way he was playing, he was so disinterested. It was unreal. I mean, he did go through that whole, basically got voted off the island in New York with the Rangers, told he was going to be sent to the minors and buried unless he took a trade. So he's probably not really having a good time in Anaheim now.
Especially when he's scoring on himself.
Yeah.
Bad bounce for Trouba the other night.
But he's usually he's noticeable. He had one big hit in the game. He crushed Holloway with a hit. Holloway jumped right back up. But watching him, he was just dead. No emotion, nothing. I was like, okay. No wonder Cam Fowler wasn't having a good time here. And I know that coaching staff for Anaheim, I had Greg Cronin as an assistant coach with the Islanders. I like Greg Cronin. I don't think he's capable of coaching in the NHL.
And especially in the modern NHL, too, where players are changing. Their mindset is changing.
And he's such a disciplinarian. There's very little praise. I shouldn't say that. There was no praise. I don't know what he's doing now. I don't play for him anymore. Yeah. But it was all like that, ruling with an iron fist. And these guys look like they've just been beaten down. And Cam Fowler, I haven't directly asked him, so I'm not going to, quote anything that he's saying, but he looks like he has found a new life here in St. Louis. He's rejuvenated.
Yeah, he looks great.
The play is he's so good, and he's so patient with the puck. He just doesn't make that bad play. And you look overall, Broberg's built the same way. Parayko's the same way. And all these guys now jump up into the rush. And so item number 2 for a forward that they can't stand, number 1 is bad passes from defensemen. Number 2 is defensemen who don't keep the puck in the offensive zone.
They did a great job at that last night, too, on the blue line. I remember, I believe it was the second period, they had a good offensive zone time going, and Parayko barely keeps the puck in at the blue line, and everyone was going nuts because he kept the puck at the blue line. And then they kept generating more offense in that specific sequence.
Well, nothing's more draining than getting into the offensive zone, taking a beating. You establish your zone time, and then you go to pass it, or it's a hard rim around, and the defenseman's not quite up in the play, and it gets out. Now everybody's got to get out of the zone, and you got to try and re-enter again. Blues do a great job of pinching down those walls, keeping those pucks in, and it all starts with the high forward, the F3. If he's not there, the defenseman can't do it. So the forwards know, okay, if I do my job, we get to play offense longer in the offensive zone. If I don't do my job, then we got to go play defense. And the defenseman, the flip side of that is, if I do my job, I can keep these forwards in here. We have a chance to score. And if I don't, then we're going to play the whole game in the neutral zone or the defensive zone. So the allotment of these 6 guys, potentially these 6 guys playing, it's just wild to think of how good that blue line will be.
And Cam Fowler's such a smart player, too. That shot pass off the pad Jordan Kyrou puts it in the back of the net. Like, I always am screaming, like, shoot the puck low pad. If you got a 2-on-1 and you can't feed that through, shoot it low pad. I know
Suter
guys want to go, they want to go top shelf or whatever. I'm like, shoot it low pad. There's a rebound right there.
Well, and Colton Parayko does a great job, too, at times where he shoots it wide on purpose. And that's hard for a goaltender and a defenseman because when the puck goes past you and now it's coming back off the wall, you've got to try and turn, find the puck, find your coverage. Chris Chelios used to do that all the time. He'd be like, guys in the shot lane, why would I dump it in the corner? He's like, I'm going to shoot about 3 feet wide of the net and have that sucker bounce back out in front. He goes, it's literally like having a rebound.
It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. If you got a question for us, Sports Six Pack is next. Air Comfort Service text line is 314-399-9646. Again, our Sports Six Pack is next. Hey, if you can make it out there, head out to our Auto Centers Nissan Herculaneum this weekend. Hopefully the snow slows up, but if you've been dealing with some car trouble, check out what they have at Auto Centers Nissan. In fact, you can start right there at AutoCentersNissan.com, but eventually you're going to want to go see the fact that they got over 700 new and used vehicles all in one location, and with their New Year, New Keys sales event, they have heavily discounted prices on every vehicle in stock. It's the new Nissans, discounted up to $11,000 off, with several brand new models as well, priced under $30K. Zero down and no payments for 3 months on select used vehicles, as well as no payments for 6 months. That's right. No payments for 6 months on select new Nissans right now, plus great low finance rates like 0% APR for 60 months on select new Nissan models. Here's the best part. Every 2025 Nissan model at Auto Centers Nissan Herculaneum during their New Year, New Keys sales events, every one in stock comes with a free lifetime warranty and 3 free oil changes, plus get peace of mind with the 30-day return promise. If you're not completely satisfied with the vehicle, within 30 days, bring it back to the dealership. They'll refund your money, but they feel so confident that you're going to love the vehicle, that you're going to keep it, and you're going to tell your friends, and they're all going to head down to Auto Centers Nissan as well and take part in their great sales event that they got going on right now. Tell them Stalter sent you. It's Auto Centers Nissan.
It's time for the Fast Lane to answer your sports questions.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions, and I want to have them answered immediately.
Asking me all these weird questions.
Answer the question.
Answer the question.
Answer me!
The Sports Six-Pack is now.
Time for the Sports Six-Pack here on the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Air Comfort Service text line is 314-399-9646 with Jamie Rivers. I'm Anthony Stalter, and here is Andrew Marsh.
Question number 1.
All right, let's go to the 618. Is it crazy to think that Dan Campbell's coaching style is not sustainable? If he cost the Lions again with his decision-making, should they take a hard look at removing him and promoting Ben Johnson so they keep that offensive mind?
Can you imagine firing Dan Campbell in Detroit, Anthony?
No.
No chance. No chance. Now, if the Lions start to flail and they start to become a 500, sub-500 team, then the city will be ready.
Yeah.
But that city doesn't care. That city thrives off of, that's right, we've got bells the size of church bells. We don't care. We're going for it on 4th and 37. You know the mentality right now.
Oh, yeah.
And I was just in Detroit talking to a whole bunch of people there, and they are like, they love him. Man. They love him.
Yeah.
Like, if he ran for mayor, he'd win. If he ran for, he'd win anything right now in Detroit. There's no way. You fire that guy, forget it.
I always thought that the Falcons should have fired Dan Quinn and kept Kyle Shanahan. And they should have after the Super Bowl meltdown. Yeah. But I just don't. Dan Jamie's right. Dan Campbell's completely changed the culture.
Yeah.
Right.
And you have to have an understanding of like what Detroit has gone through from a football standpoint, and not just, point and laugh. I mean, have an understanding of how prideful that fan base is. I mean, they showed up during the winless 0-16 season. They showed up to protest, but they showed up nonetheless. I mean,
trash bags, or not trash bags, but paper bags over their head.
They were there. It's a great sports city. I mean great sports city. This is a long time coming, and Dan Campbell has accomplished something that nobody else in front of him has. I mean, to win a division, to get the number 1 seed. Last year playing for an NFC championship. I mean, Dan Campbell is untouchable. I don't overlook some of the unnecessary risks that he takes during games, but again, Jamie's right. Everybody has bought in on his philosophy.
Question number 2.
From the Water Boy, who has the worst overtime/extra innings rules? The NHL, Major League Baseball, the NFL. I'll even throw in, he didn't write this in, but college football. Which one's the worst?
Now it's hockey because of the way they play it. I don't mind college football's overtime rules.
Do you like the ghost runner on second?
I don't mind it. You can't get it done in 9 innings. I'm sorry. Then we're going to put a damn runner on.
I know,
second.
but then the concept has to be, you have to like the NHL then, because if you can't get it done 5-on-5, we go 3-on-3.
Yeah, but the way that they play, at least adding the runner at second adds an element of excitement. What hockey has done is they have added an element of just keep the puck in overtime.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where I'm at with that. Now, college football with like the 2-point conversions and things like that.
Could you imagine if
it gets a little long?
If the national championship was decided on 2-point conversions?
That's rough. But again, I'll say the same thing that I said. If you can't get it done in 9, then we're going to go to this format. You can't get it done in 60 minutes, then we're going to go to this format. Go ahead, say it, Jamie.
What?
You know I'm right. You're just protecting your sport.
No. Baseball's worse.
Okay.
The ghost runner is dumb.
It's so dumb.
It's dumb. I mean, it speeds the game up, but
instant excitement. Got a runner in scoring position.
Yeah, there is a strategy to it as well. Like,
if you're on the road, it's a little different than if you're at home.
It's a little different, if you don't score in the top half of that 10th inning or 11th inning,
immediately
are you walking the next guy?
Yeah,
we walking the first guy, making it runners on first and second, try and get a double play. Like, there's some strategy into it.
Sounds like I just talked Marshy into it.
Okay.
You're welcome, Marsh.
Question number 3.
From the 636, Jamie, you can help us out with this one. What are some of the most soul-crushing chirps you could say to your opponent?
I can't say them on the air, that's for sure. Well, I have said this before. I have thanked players, and they say, what? I say, they thank you, man. What? I'm like, you're the best player on our team today.
Didn't a fan say that to you?
They said, no, they said, put a jersey on. I said, well, you might as well put one of our jerseys on. You're our best player.
That's an unreal shirt.
I was like, you're right.
Thank you.
I'll probably have it on by the end of the week. Just give it time.
Just give it time. I'll be traded here. It's nice in here.
Yeah. I mean, there's lots of things that I've said. You know, like, guy gets put on the ice by his coach, and I'd be like, your coach must hate you right now. Like, why? Because then why would he put you out here against us? Like, you're going to die.
Yeah.
There's lots of things I've said that...
Well, it probably is not. It's probably not safe for these airwaves.
It's definitely not. I'm trying to find a way to kind of smooth them out a little bit, but there really isn't. They'll lose their impact, you know? Yeah. A lot of it, never mind.
Could you go up to a guy and be like, who are you?
No, I never did that. Because you do that and that guy might punch your face in and go, do you know who I am now? Yep, I got you loud and clear. Like that chirp, like, oh, who are you? I've never heard of you. Okay, settle down, buddy.
Hey, buddy, shave the back of your neck. That one's kind of weird.
I've told the guy who was out of position before, get back on the bench.
Oh, that's a good one.
That's
a solid one.
Yeah, not bad.
Question number 4.
From the 314. What'd you say?
This is my teammate.
From the 314, Colton Parayko retires a blue, hopefully, question mark?
Yes, hopefully.
He'll go down like as one of the best blues in team history.
He will, for sure.
You think he'll break the games played record?
As a blue? If he retires a blue, he probably will, yeah. I mean, I don't see any reason why you'd get rid of a guy like that. Like, he skates well. He's big. He's always going to be effective. He's going to end up being like a Jay Bowmeister, to where, you know, some of the flash might disappear, but then the speed, the size, the ability to defend will stay there.
Yeah.
I don't see any reason why you get rid of a guy like Colton Parayko. And Colton Parayko, he loves being here in St. Louis. He loves living in St. Louis, loves the community.
He's embraced it.
Yeah, like, I don't see any point where he's going to be like, yeah, I need an extra $1 million out of you or I'm leaving. Like, I mean, anything's possible in business.
Not like Brendan Donovan trying to soak the Cardinals for all they're worth.
Yeah, boys. I can't believe you went there.
Well, we haven't talked about him this hour yet.
Yeah. But yeah, I hope he retires a blue, and I would expect him to retire a blue.
Question number 4.
I think we're on 4.
Sure.
From the 910, I am so tired of hearing you guys saying Walker should be the DH. He's young, talented, and a great athlete. I'm sure he's busting his butt every day to get better. Playing the outfield isn't that difficult that he can't learn. I expect him to be much better this year. Do you guys agree?
Yeah, absolutely. Just got to put in the work, and he's a good athlete, and he'll be great.
Playing outfield is not that easy.
No, it's not.
Tracking baseballs is not that easy.
And every park is different.
Yeah.
And you have to understand, look, with more reps, will he get better? Potentially. Yeah.
He's got a good arm, too.
He does. Maybe he will get better. Maybe he'll be one of the best outfielders of all time. I can only go on what I see right now.
Yeah.
And I've also seen great athletes really not have a position. And they don't live up to their expectations. Does it happen typically in baseball? No, not really. Because they have got things like, the DH. But we've seen great athletes in other spots that are like, you're a great athlete. I don't know what to do with you. And no other team does either. And you wind up falling way short of your expectations. But no, I think Jordan Walker, will be a great outfielder. And he's the best. And he will be the best of all time once he puts in the work. And I'm sure he's working hard.
All right.
Question number 5.
Jerk.
From the 618, do you guys believe Jordan Kyrou is playing up to his contract?
Yeah. Right now he is. He's leading your team in scoring. He's got 38 points in 43 games. I mean, I could be wrong, but he's done everything he's been asked to do under Coach Jim Montgomery and some. Like, where would your team be without Jordan Kyrou? How about that? Let's take him out of the lineup. There goes 19 goals. There goes 38 points.
I don't like it.
So I think he's living up to the contract currently, and especially since Monty's taken over as head coach.
Question number 6.
Wow, did we get to 6?
We did. Pretty good.
Michael says, Anthony, as much as you rag on Walker, not to disparage someone no longer with us, but if Dunk can play the outfield, Walker can. If Dunk were still here...
Dunk could hit, though.
Dunk would also say that he could not play the outfield.
Wasn't he a first baseman?
Yeah.
Poor guy.
Yeah, he was a first baseman. They had somebody named Pools, unfortunately.
That's a tough one.
Unfortunately.
Dunk put in the work, though, and I'm sure Walker's putting in the work.
He is.
I'm not disparaging Walker. I'm just, I'm calling it like I see it. I don't think that Walker's an outfielder. That's my opinion. I've been wrong countless times. Ask these two. Hell, ask yourself as a listener. I've been wrong a lot.
I think Anthony might be onto something here.
He is.
I think you might be right on this one.
Did you say on to something or on something?
Both could be true.
They're both
my
in
bad.
play.
Yeah. Like
Dunk would tell you flat out though that he was not an outfielder.
Like, it's not online, it's on the line.
Right. Right.
That's great.
What a bowl.
All right, question number 6 from the 636. Which matchup in the NFL wild card is the toughest pick'em this week?
For me, it would be the Rams and Vikings because I think it's the most even matchup. I think there are 3 that are tough. I think it's Washington and Tampa. I think it's Minnesota and the Rams. And I know you guys disagree with me, but I think the Texans give the Chargers a game tomorrow. But I would go in that order. Minnesota and the Rams, long pause. Washington, Tampa, then Houston and the Chargers. But like Rams, Vikings, the game's been moved now. So it's no longer, not that the Rams have got great home field advantage. They don't. But the game's being moved, so that adds that element.
To the Dome.
The Vikings are a better team. Period. The Dome. No, not to the Dome.
What?
No, yeah, it's in Arizona. They're going to Glendale.
What?
Yeah, sorry, Marsh. Sorry to burst your bubble. The Vikings are the better team. Full stop on that. The Rams, though, from Matthew Stafford and Sean McVay and the way that they can match up with Minnesota, when you think back to that first game, how many times Brian Flores blitzed the hell out of Stafford and it was just like, no problem. Cup, Nakua. And it wound up being, kind of a lost game for the Vikings. But as I continue to talk out of both sides of my mouth, the Vikings are coming off a loss to the Lions, short week, West Coast. That was not a great spot. So how much can you take out of that game? This is why I think Minnesota and the Rams are the toughest one.
And Ryan Fitzpatrick, I don't know if he has a bone to pick with Brian Flores, but he was saying that Matthew Stafford's going to carve up the Vikings defense because, they show all these different looks and stuff, but at the end of the day, I believe he said they just play like cover 4. And he said Matthew Stafford will just pick them apart all day long.
Yeah.
Maybe he will. I mean, he won a Super Bowl. He's a great quarterback. I do think when it comes down to it, the Rams do have a better quarterback.
I agree. Yeah, what version of Sam Darnold are we getting? Are we getting Ghost version?
I hope we get the version
Are we getting Casper, or are we getting, the version that we've seen for most of the season?
That's a good point.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll find out Monday. I will be wearing my helmet to work.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
Good.
I
should,
wearing
man.
my helmet.
I feel like you shy away from it because you worry about the reverse jinx. But look, we're in the playoffs now.
It's the playoffs.
Marshy, bring in some earbuds so you can wear your helmet the whole day.
I might have to, yeah. I actually don't have stringed earbuds.
I do.
Because
I got an extra pair in my bag.
Do you?
Right there. Yeah.
Okay, I might have to clean those off a little bit.
No, they're brand new.
Oh, they are?
Yeah.
Okay.
But thank you for criticizing my ear hygiene.
No, I'm just,
Wow. I'll have to clean those off.
Well, I'm just whatever.
It's not like I'm loaning you my mouth guard. Like, what the hell are you doing?
All right. Speaking of the NFL, we got one more game to do for our entrance survey. What's going to be the deciding factor in the Washington-Tampa game? Plus our predictions next on 101 ESPN.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. Your St. Louis Blues won last night over the Anaheim Ducks, 6-2 the final. They'll take on the Columbus Blue Jackets tomorrow. Pregame starts at 5. Puck drop is at 6. If you missed anything from today's show, including our interview with Blues Insider from The Athletic, Jeremy Rutherford, make sure you go to 101ESPN.com or check out the free Dobbs Tire and Auto Center's 101 ESPN mobile app. Just head to the podcast page and you'll find all of our interviews and full shows there. And it's all brought to you by the Schaefer Door Company. Tonight, you can listen to the Cotton Bowl. It is Texas going up against Ohio State. The winner will take on Notre Dame in the national championship. Pregame starts at 6. Kickoff is at 6:30. We'll also have an NFL slate for you on Sunday with the Bills taking on the Broncos, the Eagles going up against the Packers, and then at 7 o'clock, Buccaneers and Commanders. We're going to dive into that matchup next right here in the Fast Lane. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is brought to you by
Saliga
Heating and Cooling, an independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
Well, the last game on Sunday will air right here on 101 ESPN. Buccaneers and Commanders kick off at 7 o'clock. This one's going to be fascinating, guys. This could be, out of all the games, I think this has the best shootout potential. The defenses on both sides can be questionable. The offenses on both sides can be explosive. Tampa Bay, Washington. Jamie, biggest determining factor for this game?
Quarterbacks. For me, quarterbacks. Jaden Daniels, first playoff game, going to feel the heat. You know, the Bucs will have a good defensive scheme ready for him. And the flip side is Baker Mayfield. Like shaky bakey. Is it showtime? Shaky
Showtime Baker?
Or is it just shaky bakey? For me, it's quarterbacks.
I think he's going to play well, don't you?
I think both of them should play well. But again, it's going to come down to then if they both play well, who makes the first mistake?
Yeah. Yeah, Baker will throw you one.
He will.
He'll throw you one. I'm truly not copping out here. I do think this is going to happen. I think whoever has the ball last wins. I really do.
That could be.
I think whoever has the ball last wins. If you look at Washington's games, that's how most of them have basically played out. Dating back to the Hail Mary against the Bears. How many of Washington's games that have mattered? You know, they've played I think they played the Titans and they blew them out. But save for those games where they're large favorites, it's basically whoever has the ball last. You know, the Cowboys, they had the big play against. The Falcons, they wound up beating in overtime because Atlanta decided to they didn't go for 2 when they scored their touchdown. And Washington won the coin flip. I think the Eagles game, when they turned the ball over 5 times, I think the Commanders kind of had the ball last and won it. I think this game comes down to whoever has the ball last. I think they're evenly matched. So that's kind of the determining factor for me. What about you, Marsh?
I agree with Jamie. I think it's going to come down to quarterbacks. They're the two biggest entities, I believe, in this game, 2 biggest factors. So I think it's going to be a great game. And, you know, we talked about in the Sports Six-Pack, this being one of the games that we really don't know who's going to win. You know, you go back to last year, the Buccaneers, they won that Monday Night Football game against the Eagles pretty handedly on, home field advantage for them. And so they took care of business. And then Baker Mayfield went into Detroit and had himself a pretty good game as well. And, didn't win, but, made it pretty close. So if that version of Baker Mayfield shows up, I think the Buccaneers win. But there's just something magical about Jaden Daniels. They find ways to win, whether it was that Hail Mary, that comeback against the Eagles. They've been an exciting team this year. I think maybe they could pull it off and be what the Houston Texans were last year. You win that first game, and then we'll see what happens. But I think this is going to be a good game.
All right, your hero, Jamie.
My hero.
Got to choose a hero. Who's it going to be?
It's hard not to pick a quarterback, but I'm trying to veer off. I'm going to go Mike Evans. Damn it. I think he comes up with a catch. Like one that you're like, I cannot believe he made that catch. And I'm not saying for a touchdown. I'm just saying, like, he's going to have a catch that's like the difference maker.
Marsh, Mike Evans as well?
No, I'll go to a different wide receiver this time. I'm going to say Jalen McMillan.
Oh.
He's starting to come on, and he has been looking pretty good for the Buccaneers without Chris Godwin, right? Who's that other wide receiver?
It's been him.
It's been him. And I think if we're talking about a big catch, you would think Mike Evans, and I did about 5 seconds ago until I just switched my pick, changed my mind. So I think Jalen McMillan will be that guy to come up with a big catch.
Wow, there you go.
I think it's Baker Mayfield. I think Baker Mayfield has himself a game. I think it has like been coming for Baker Mayfield, right? And midway through the year, the team was left for dead when they had all the injuries, and Kirk Cousins forgot who he was for a stretch and played well. And you know, Baker is like, okay. But Baker has like, the Buccaneers have embodied who Baker Mayfield is.
Yeah, they really have.
He's tough. I mean, he's a tough some you know what. And he's had one of his best seasons.
He's played really well as a Buccaneer.
Yeah.
Bottom line.
I think he carries him. I do. I think he lifts him. I think Baker Mayfield winds up being the guy, and he is the hero. The GOAT. Who winds up being the GOAT? Ooh. I'm going to say Dan Quinn.
I was thinking that because you had prior history in seeing that.
Arthur Smith for Pittsburgh and Dan Quinn.
There's a theme here.
Yeah.
I think it's a coach.
I've seen this guy's best work. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. I think it's a coach, but I think it's an offensive coordinator.
Cliff Kingsbury?
Yeah.
I don't think so. I think he'll be fine.
Yeah,
But that Dan Quinn, he's not going to have a good defensive game plan.
Like, if Washington loses this game, like,
Isn't he a defensive guy?
Who would it be?
Yep.
who would the
would have to be Jaden Daniels.
See, I don't know though. I think he's going to have a good game.
This is why I think the game comes down to the like last possession.
Could it be like a Terry McLaurin no-show game? Nah, I just don't see that either.
Yeah, I don't either. Because Tampa's secondary isn't that good. I think this is gonna be a shootout. Fire them cannons. All right, so who's your GOAT? You gotta pick one.
I just did.
Oh, Cliff Kingsbury.
Yeah, old Cliff. Cliff bar.
I apologize. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Jamie?
I'm going to stick with a player. I'll go Jaden Daniels. I'll say the moment's too big for him, and he throws a couple of picks, or he throws a pick that, like, is the nail in the coffin.
All right, your prediction, Jamie?
Bucks. I'd say it's going to be high scoring, in my opinion. So I'll go, like, 37 to...
Wow.
28.
Ooh. I'm going to say 36-34 Tampa.
Oh, I'm going to say 33-30 Tampa. So we're all in the high scoring range. Probably 17-16 Tampa. All right, it's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. We've got Bet the Board. We've got 3 stars of the day. We've got criticisms and compliments as we wrap it up on a Friday. Next in the Fastlane on 101 ESPN. One of the features that I love about Underdog Fantasy is that it's not just the player stats. So, for example, if you like Isaiah Likely this weekend to go over or higher than 2.5 receptions, you click on Isaiah Likely. They also have a feature, if you're looking at the NFL playoffs, and you could do this for NHL or NBA games too, but one of the things I love is you could actually choose whether or not the player will go higher or lower than their fantasy points. So I like Derrick Henry this weekend in that matchup with Pittsburgh to go higher than his 15.65 fantasy points. Now, I do got to pick a Steeler in that same game, but it's so much fun playing Underdog Fantasy. So if you have a hunch of what's going to happen in these playoff games this weekend, great. Go to Underdog Fantasy. They're the best place to cash in on all your takes during the playoffs, which players are going to go off, which ones are not going to have great games, higher or lower, on whatever players that you choose, whatever stats you want to pick from. They got receiving yards, touchdowns, longest receptions, longest rush, whatever you want to do, Underdog's got it. They also have a second chance promotion. Underdog Rescues, they call it. You get your money back and receive a promo if an early injury causes your entry to lose. So player that you chose to fill out your card here, they get hurt in the first quarter, Underdog will actually give you your entry fee back. I don't know any other website that does that. With Underdog's double flex option, you can even take 2 losses and turn them into a win just for playing Underdog Fantasy. Underdog is the best place to play champions. Download the app. Sign up with my promo code Anthony. Deposit now, and you're going to get up to $1,000 in bonus cash instantly. Again, using that promo code Anthony at Underdog. Must be 18 or older, present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms to apply. Concerned with your play, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org. Missed anything from today's show, you can download the podcast available at 101ESPN.com or your 101 ESPN, Dobbs Tire and Auto Center's mobile app. All the podcast brought to you by Schaefer Door Company. All right, boys, time to bet the board. And Marsh, I know that you have been updating our standings. So what do you got?
Yes. Anthony, you and Carey are tied at 4 this month. I have 3 points, and Jamie has 2.
Okay.
So shady.
Now, Carey, did send us his play, which is Ohio State minus 5.5. Are they still 5.5?
No.
They bumped up.
It was 6.
That's what I thought it was 6.
Yeah.
Now he said 5.5. Is he cheating?
Maybe he found it at 5.5. He is in a different country.
Yeah, still. What do you got?
I just gave him minus 5.5.
Okay, so I guess we're just handing
You
it
can't
to.
just look, it's right here. The spread is minus 6.
Thank you.
Right now.
Give him 6.
Okay.
All right. And pushes our losses for our consideration. So, yeah. Jamie, I like what you've done here. I really do.
Okay.
Give me the Bills over 29.5 points. I think they score at least 30.
Okay.
It's a tight line. I was hoping for about 28 points.
Uh-huh.
I consider Ohio State in the first half tonight and all that stuff. Anyways, I won't bore you with the details. So give me over 29.5 Bills points.
All right, give me Joe Mixon anytime touchdown.
That's
available? What's that odd?
Minus 125.
Okay.
And
here we go. PD
Josh
parlay.
Allen, anytime touchdown, minus 125. Josh Jacobs, anytime touchdown, minus 115. Bucky Irving, anytime touchdown, minus 145. Derrick Henry, over 100-plus yards.
Whoa.
Derrick Henry, over 1.5 receptions. And Derrick Henry, over 5.5 receiving yards. All under the minus 150 threshold.
Was that 10?
Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
I haven't seen somebody hit a 7-leg parlay since PD Parlay here did it a couple months ago.
Well, we'll see.
Wow. Okay, Marshy.
All right, well, mine's not as sexy as that. Give me the Winnipeg Jets tonight over the LA Kings, minus 106.
Okay, there you have it. There's Bet the Board. Marsh, go for it.
All right, real quick, criticisms and compliments. From the 314, well, I was at the Blues game last night having a good time, then unexpectedly off today. Kind of made today feel like the weekend, and in my weekend fuzz, I completely forgot until 10 minutes ago you guys were still on the air doing normal weekday things. Damn it. Bummed I missed the show. Was it any good?
Show? I think the show was good.
Solid.
I thought it was good.
Absolutely. We had some fun. Talked about catcher's mitts.
We did.
It was good. Yeah, it was a good time. Don't forget to check out that podcast if you missed it. Hey,
great time today.
Somebody did ask why Marshy was wearing his pajama shirt today.
Pajama shirt?
I don't think it's a pajama shirt.
Come on, it's a new era Cardinals shirt that I got for Christmas.
He will be wearing his helmet next Monday.
I will bring the helmet in. Those clean headphones that Jamie has. Yep. All right, 3 stars of the day. 3 stars of the day. Our third star. This is a tough one today. It could go either way, but this is what I chose. Bevo is getting our 3rd star of the day. Shout out Bevo.
Good boy, Bevo.
Our 2nd star of the day goes to Mountain Thunder.
Yeah, good call.
Mountain Thunder, 2nd star. And our 1st star of the day goes out to the Heart of the Hide catcher's mitt.
Yes.
Well done. Well done. Congratulations to our stars today. We have the Cotton Bowl coming at you. Pre-game. 6 o'clock, so about 5 minutes or so. We got the kickoff about 6:30. Blues and Blue Jackets tomorrow. Pre-game at 5 o'clock, and the puck drop at 6. And don't forget, we got all 3 Sunday NFL games. For our guy, Kerry Davis, enjoying a little vacay. For Jamie Rivers and Andrew Marsh, I'm Anthony Stalter. We appreciate you listening and watching the Fast Lane. See you.